This week, we're giving you our full predictions for the Game Awards 2025. Join us as we predict the winners of each and every category, along with some predictions for a few of the surprises the show may have in store on this week's HGO podcast. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, is my good friend Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
We are in the midst of some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm hoping everything goes okay. Jeff is trying to shut us down. He's trying to silence us, Hunter, because we are trying to leak the Game Awards 2025, and he will not let it happen.
He just can't stand the fact that we don't think he's a real person.
He's not real. Have you seen him in real life? I don't think so. There's no proof.
No, I never have.
We're here, ladies and gentlemen, to do our annual tradition, which is predicting the Game Awards 2025. Can you believe it, Hunter? This is our 6th Game Awards doing this.
Oh
Isn't that depressing?
That's insane.
Yeah, that's mental.
It got worse when we started doing this.
Hey, last year was actually pretty good. Last year was pretty good.
I'll give them credit for that one. But
We'll
that
see
means
if
this
you
year is
keep it
going to
up.
be real bad.
No, you got to keep the hope alive. You got to keep the dreams high, and everything is going to go perfect, Hunter. You just got to believe. But no, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to run through every single category that matters at the Game Awards 2025. We'll be telling you who we think is going to win, who we'd like to win, and settling some scores, settling some bets, seeing who comes up on top. We'll be keeping tabs, and then we'll bring it up with our analysis, our little grade report card that we give Jeff afterwards. We will bring it all up, all of our big wins and fails and all that jazz. And then at the end of the podcast, as we always do, we like to go into a bit of the speculation. We like to go into our little goose and gaffs and try and predict what atrocities and reveals may happen at the Game Awards. So we'll be giving you a couple of those as well at the end of the episode. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, if you're new here, we're the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday at 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere and at youtube.com/hotgamers-only. Housekeeping for you. Obviously, happy holidays, everybody. It is December. We are getting into that holiday spirit. Kyle isn't here, so I put the tree out early just to make sure we rectify that mistake. But yeah, as we get into the festive season, as we wind down with video games, we've still got stuff coming out. We've got Metroid Prime is out next week. We are playing that, so that's cool. You can go check that out. There's some plenty of first impressions that we'll be discussing next week as well. I think there's a couple of other things that are sneaking their way into.
I've played a lot of video games in the past week too, so
I'm glad somebody has.
There will be plenty of impressions to give alongside Metroid.
Hell yeah. I'm glad somebody has, because I haven't, and I sorely need to, I feel. But yeah, so we've got plenty of first impressions. And then as we get into the Game of the Year, obviously, we may have a couple of reviews still yet to come out, and then we also have our top articles of the year where we talk about all of our games of the year. That's all going up on the website, hotgamesonly.com. Check those out when they come out. Should be pretty soon. Obviously, as we get to the holiday season, we'll start winding down, but don't worry, the podcast does truck forward. We do not miss a week. We will carry on through the holiday season. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for all of that jazz. We'll be talking games of the year. We'll be talking about festive topics and all that jazz. So yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully, maybe. I don't want to linger too much, Hunter. I want to kind of just dive straight in to our Game Awards 2025 winners predictions. Now, Hunter, I'm going to mute that because that's annoying the heck out of me. How are you feeling about the noms? We did briefly last week mention it. How are you feeling about the nominations? Are you feeling okay? You've had a week to recover, to sit with them. Are you fine with Expedition 33 being in every single category? Have you accepted your fate?
Oh, there's not. It's less egregious than other years. Like Sifu as a fighting game was one that was, cosmically funny that year.
I can't say the fighting game category is any better this year. Also,
no, it really isn't.
aforementioned issues is Hunter's internet takes a massive little toil, so apologies for that in advance. But yeah, it's an interesting year. Like you say, you've had articles this week coming out, just these past couple of days about Team Cherry maybe not going to the Game Awards because they're like, Expedition 33 is going to win, so we don't feel like coming out. And I'm like, fair enough. It's an interesting year. So we're trying to make it a little bit more interesting, Hunter, this year. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be sitting around and going, Expedition 33, Expedition 33, Expedition 33, tick, 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 tick. So we're making it a little bit more interesting. We're doing what we call will wins and want to wins. So obviously, we're going to be predicting who we think will win the category based off of empirical data and scientific research. But then we'll also have who we want to win, if, in our heart of hearts, who we think deserves to win that category. And if they win, you'll get points for that as well. So it's going to be a fun little time. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I haven't done my
solely on our opinion, which is better than science.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. So yeah, we'll have this whole tabulation basically where it's like you obviously if you get it right, you get a point. If what you wanted to gets it, that's more powerful. Hope is more powerful than fact, Hunter, as I like to say. So I feel like you get it right, you get a point. If it's scientific that Expedition 33 is going to win and you put your money down, fair enough. If you love it, I feel like you get 2 points if your heart's in it. If your heart's in it, I think you get 2 points. And if it's both, if they are intertwined in fate, that's 3 points. And we're going to see how well this goes. It could be an absolute disaster because we both love Expedition 33 as well. So that's going to be the fun
Very
part.
True.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now, if you are watching on the video version of the podcast, it's another, Ethan's done a special little bit for you. We are, by the power of technology, going to move over to... Hooray! And the audio didn't cut out this time, Hunter, like that pre-record we've done for the future episodes. Hooray! You'll see that in a couple of weeks. It's very funny. Yeah. We're going to go through the website. I haven't voted yet, so I'm going to do my votes on stream, on the recording like we usually do. So this should be pretty fun. Right. Hunter, we are starting off with most anticipated game. The award that goes to the studio that has put the most marketing budget into a game that is not yet released. So,
I'm not even sure if that's necessarily true in this case.
100% it is true. Oh gosh, I've just broken everything. Let me just boop. You saw nothing, video watchers.
Right.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. What I find interesting, Hunter, is only 3 of these games are guaranteed to come out next year. And I'm not counting GTA as one of those 3. Obviously, 007 First Light, Resident Evil Requiem out in the first kind of half. I think it's April for First Light. So, a couple of early games. You got The Witcher 4, which will probably be out in like 2028. And then you've got Wolverine in fall and GTA also in 2028. Hunter, how are you feeling? Do you feel like there's any chance in heck of anyone winning this that isn't Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yeah, that would be my guess, would be Grand Theft Auto 6, because of course.
Yeah, of course. What is there anything else to... here's the thing is, if you're asking me which one of these are you most excited for, here's the thing is, I'm a huge fan of Insomniac. I'm a huge fan of The Witcher 3. But also, I know that The Witcher 4 isn't out next year, so my most anticipated is probably Grand Theft Auto. Just because I want to see, can a game, Hunter, that has been, trillions of dollars has been spent on, can it actually live up to any semblance of the hype? Can it?
I don't know, but you're still going to have to mash X to sprint.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that's what's interesting. That's what I'm voting for, is GTA 6, because I feel like it is Pandora's box. we have to open it eventually. We just have to. Will it be next year? I hope so. But yeah.
Depends on how many more times the studio tries to unionize.
For Fun and Games Hunter, which one are you most excited for on this list? Resident Evil Requiem?
Yeah, I would say Resident Evil Requiem is the one that's listed that I'm the most excited for. Also, like with The Witcher, there, like you said, not convinced that that's coming out next year. I don't know why. That's never really mattered for this category, but I think maybe it should
I feel like it should.
just
Yeah.
because otherwise you just have things like, oh, sequel to Breath of the Wild for 3 years in a row, Elden Ring, and then
Cyberpunk 2077 was there for
yeah,
a while. Elden Ring was there for years. Yeah, it's just the same like games over and over and over again. But yeah, there you go. Just that easy, Hunter. Just that easy. We're one category down. A heck of a lot more to go. Should also mention, by the way, we haven't said we're not doing any of the esports stuff. Or
yeah.
content creators. We're not schmucks, okay? We don't care about that. We're on about big players, okay? I don't care.
That was qualified when you said all the categories that matter.
I know. There'll be somebody that's like, oh, why aren't you voting for Valorant for the 17th year in a row? Anyway, speaking of the worst category of the Game Awards, the best adaptation recognizes outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. It does not include good adaptations like ones that came out for some reason. Can someone please tell me why Until Dawn is here when the Sonic movie Sonic 3 literally came out in this review period?
Dude, Castlevania Nocturne is also absent from this list, and that is infuriating because that should be here.
Yeah,
I
I
nearly
think
started writing it down for my want to win, even though it was not listed. It completely slipped my mind until I looked at the list again.
it's just
Uh,
baffling to me that it's like, Sonic 3 is, a pretty good family film. It's
yeah.
better than half the stuff that's on this list. I can tell you that much for a fact. So the fact that it's not here, but Until Dawn is a film adaptation that was panned?
Yeah, I think this is one of these things where it's symptomatic of, the people that Jeff asks to, nominate things that they don't care about this category. So they just kind of
Sony,
forget
Sony,
things that
Sony, Sony, Netflix,
yeah,
Netflix, Minecraft.
yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, I am again. This is a hard one to predict because it's like, where do we go from here? You've got multiple options, right? It's like like you got what you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is Game Awards is roughly, if I know the percentages off the top of my head, I think it's roughly something like 90 or 80%, or like 90 or 80% the board of
Yeah.
of review outlets and 10% fan vote. If this was like 90% fan vote, then I'd be voting a Minecraft movie because everybody's just sitting saying chicken jockey still and screaming
Yeah,
in
yeah, this
cinemas.
movie made it the most dangerous it would be to be in a movie theater since The Dark Knight Rises.
Devil May Cry's hard because I know that that was very much a Marmite adaptation.
It
There were
was
some people that really
divisive for
loved it,
sure.
but
Yeah.
there's some people that didn't. Also, I also want to say Twisted Metal Season 2 is also not here. Another Sony thing that apparently I don't believe it because I haven't seen it myself, but people say that people like the Twisted Metal show. I'm surprised that people like it as much as they do. So again,
Yeah, it's
why are we
been
sitting here?
baffling. Like, I haven't seen any of season 2, but I was present for, like, a scene that my friend was watching when I was hanging out at his place. I'm like, I don't know, this dialogue makes me wanna ram my head into a wall.
Listen, I've not seen any of this. I didn't even watch season 2 of The Last of Us. Um
Yeah.
so I'm not going to vote here. If I was to predict, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. The awards voters love hating everything. Put me down for The Last of Us season 2, Hunter, just because HBO, innit?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what my will win,
I
prediction
would
is
I would
also gonna
like
be.
Minecraft movie to win because I would like Jack Black to go up on stage and do a chicken jockey bit 8 months after the film came out and all of the meme has died. Like that'd be fantastic. That is my like key 3 moment right there. That's what I want. Um,
My want, most of these Castlevanias not here. Devil May Cry, it's
yeah,
the one I've actually watched, and I liked it.
fair enough.
Although, God, I do not want Adi Shankar taking the stage. I hate that guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's I can agree with that. Anyway, enough of adaptations. It's time for best multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. Put me down for Arc Raiders winning this category, Hunter. Put me down for that right now. Um,
Yeah,
it's got all that hype around it. I find it very interesting as someone who hasn't played Arc Raiders and isn't a extraction shooters don't really do anything for me. It's not the kind of genre that I really care for. It's interesting to see. The only thing that I know about Arc Raiders is the AI voiceover stuff rubbish that they
yeah, I've heard plenty about
have
that, but
been on about. But hey, I've heard the game's great. My personal vote goes to Peak. I think Peak is fantastic. I think Landfall and Aggro Crab have done a great job with that game. It's getting my vote. I love Peak. I think it's fantastic. It's a good game to play with friends. Overall, a pretty stacked category though. I'm not gonna lie. You know, you've
yeah,
got Split
this
Fiction,
one
Elden
is
Ring.
pretty tough altogether. As far as most years, it's usually a lot of the same thing from before,
Yeah,
whereas this is like 5 brand new games.
it's also like there's usually one kind of big cultural zeitgeist game in terms of multiplayer a year, so you can very easily pick. Where it's like this year you have had Battlefield's been doing huge, Arc Raiders has come and gone. Peak was huge during the summer, it's like you've had those big moments. Like it's like last year you could very easily go Helldivers is going to win, whereas this
Yeah,
year it's a lot tougher, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I think Arc Raiders. I'd like Peak to win though. It's a great game. If you haven't played it, you should try it. Pretty good.
I'm gonna cast both of my votes, want and will, for Peak.
Hey, good for you, buddy. Good for you. Nothing like a little bit of hope, Nothing like a little bit of hope.
Yeah,
Next up, everyone's favorite category, best sports and racing. Oh boy, do you love a bit of sports and or racing, Hunter? I feel like you do. You don't have
where's
to
Tony
tell me
Hawk?
anything. That's very funny. Best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game: EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Yeah, I don't know why. EAFC 26, from what I've heard, is not a particularly good iteration of EAFC either. So I don't know why it's
Yeah.
been. This is what we
Oh
call,
no.
Hunter, the European tax. Um, the
Yeah.
Europeans, they love their F1, they love their EA Sports FC. This is, I am of the minority
It
of
kind
people
of
who don't
prevents
like
any of
either.
the other like EA Sports games from ever like breaching the category either because of well, I guess unless it's a really down year. But
Yeah.
usually because like no one cares, no one outside of America cares about football as America calls it. Um that
hmm
never shows up here. Also, I'm sure the games aren't very good to begin with, but that's neither here nor there.
I have no clue. I can't really tell you. But yeah, it's crazy that Tony Hawk's not here. I can probably tell you why. Tony Hawk kind of
It came and went is probably why, I would
it
say,
came and
you
went.
know?
There was a bunch of. Here's the thing, Hunter, is there's a bunch of arcadey kind of games this year, and with Mario Kart Rematch, Sonic Racing Cross Wars, there was a lot of arcadey here. I think it should be here. Iron Galaxy did a great job with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. But hey, it is what it is. I'm doubling down. I've only played one. Well, I did play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm sorry, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds Truthers. I did not really get Sonic Racing Cross Worlds when I did play the demo. I played it for about 5 hours and I just did not get it. Um, I think Mario Kart World will win. I am gonna put my vote on
Yeah.
Mario Kart World. I also want Sonic Racing Cross Worlds fans to know that I do think Mario Kart World is my least favorite Mario Kart game that I've ever played. So It's not a, I'm not on team Mario Kart World. Um, but hey,
Yeah,
I think it'll still win.
it's a weird one because if this was, if you had asked me back in the summer, it seemed like rematch was popping off for a little while, but that star has died, I think. um,
Mm.
whereas, you know, Mario Kart, despite being, from what I gather, largely disappointing, I think the power of its name is going to carry it to the end of the victory anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I think I got that.
Yeah.
Internet died a little bit, but yeah, I think I got what you're trying to say. Um, I will try and fix that in post, ladies and gentlemen. If I can't, I apologize in advance, but I will try. We do record locally. I'll try and fix this in post. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. It's like it did enough for the Nintendo fans to vote for it regardless, and they'll just swarm the category, you know what I mean? The only other chance it has, I feel,
Yeah.
is if the Sonic fans go rabid and they just see Sonic and they start voting mass. Because there were quite a few critics that were pretty chuffed with Sonic Racing Cross World, so you never know. You never
Yeah.
know. But yeah. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. But hey, everyone's sitting there saying Mario Kart World's been robbed. Hey, it'll probably win one category.
Robbed from what?
Best soundtrack, which
Oh,
my response to that is this might be a controversial take on this might be a controversial take, but my personal opinion is if you release a soundtrack which is 90% remixes, should it be up for best soundtrack? And then some people will come back to me and go, "Hey, Ethan, Final Fantasy VII Remake was up for best soundtrack, and that's a bunch of remixes."
yeah.
And I'll go, "Touche," and that's the end of that. I kind of agree, but it's hard because Mario Kart World, the whole thing. We'll get to it. We'll get to it later with soundtrack. But my whole thing with that is, please hum me an original Mario Kart World song. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. We'll come back to it. Come back to me in 5 minutes when we get to soundtrack. Okay. Cool.
I wish I could remember the stupid little harmonica that comes in on the trailer there, because that's all I would know.
Yeah. It's the only thing you'll ever will. Anyway, best
It's
sim
true.
and strategy game. Can you believe it, Hunter? They still do these games. Sorry, I'm a terrible, terrible man.
I've never
Best
understood why this is a merged category. At least with sports and racing, like that one kind of makes sense, where racing, when it's not kart racers, is in the realm of sporting events.
I'd put my money on that there's been so many years where there aren't that many sim and strategy games.
Yeah, I guess.
This year there's been quite a few, but usually I don't think there's enough strategy games to just have strategy games. Um, it's definitely for sim. Anyway, real time or turn based simulation or strategy gameplay. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Invalid Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, The Altars, and 2 Point Museum. I'll let you lead, Hunter. What are you thinking?
Hmm. I'm between Final Fantasy Tactics, that feels like
Mm-hmm.
the knee jerk answer here, but people also really liked the altars earlier this year.
Yeah. I think right. I I haven't played any of these, so I'm not gonna vote for this category. I here's the thing: people love Final Fantasy Tactics, but also it is the same video game,
Yeah.
just with some new artwork and some sexy voices with Ben Starr and like all the British people, you know. Harry McIntyre's also in that game. Anyway, um, I think the Altars just has that kind of critical kind of, the same guy
Juice.
played every character,
Oh.
and
Oh, yeah.
and people really liked it. And if they didn't love it, they still respect it for what it was doing, if that makes sense. Like, that would be my gut.
Yeah.
I think my gut
They
is,
respect the vision.
and I will double down on that. I kind of, I've got no foot in this race, so I'm kind of down with wanting the alters to win if they're because they're doing something unique here where it's like Civ, Jurassic World, and 2 Points are just more iterations of the same kind of games, which are all fabulous. But it's Sid Meier's Civilization 7, bit questionable on that one. But the rest of them,
Less fabulous than the rest of the series.
yeah, for sure. And Final Fantasy Tactics, great game. There will be people in the Twitch chat who will be screaming if it doesn't win. But my response to that is, it's the same game from the 90s, just with some new artwork on it,
Yeah, and
Still
a lot of the
fantastic,
artwork
still
is
deserves all of its flowers, but,
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, I'll set my probably will win prediction for the altars, and I'll put my want on Final Fantasy just in solidarity for Kyle since he's not here.
You know, you've got to go and vote, dude. And if you don't come to the booth, don't fucking complain when the when the vote don't go your way, dude. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? In
Yeah, yeah.
solidarity, because he's not here, I'll cast my vote for Final Fantasy. There you go, Carl. You see? Next time though, go to the polling station, It's just that easy. It's the best family game, Hunter, sponsored by Nintendo.
Yeah.
As always, the best family game goes to the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre and platform, because we know Goo Goo Gaga babies don't care about genre, they just care about shiny. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyages, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Split Fiction. Donkey Kong wins this category.
Yeah, like locked and loaded
Locked and loaded.
to the bank.
Yeah, the thing is, and this is what you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is any Game of the Year nominee, if it's in a category by itself, it is just probably going to win that vote.
Yeah.
It just is.
That is usually the rule. Otherwise, it becomes pretty confounding when a game that isn't nominated for Game of the Year beats it later, beats it in a category.
Totally. But it is. It's the Game of the Year nominee in this category. It just my vote. I'm gonna vote for Split Fiction. I like Split Fiction more than Donkey Kong Bonanza. That is my opinion. Sorry, Donkey Kong Bonanza fans. I just don't find Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's great, but also I'd had enough of the game within like a third of the game. You know what I mean? Like its mechanics.
Yeah, it should have been
were lacking. Punching
fraction of
stuff.
the
Yeah,
time.
destruction as a concept is fun at first, but the game does nothing with it, unfortunately. And that ending is, I'm sure if you're a Donkey Kong Country fan, that ending is like being a kid at Christmas. For someone who doesn't have Donkey Kong nostalgia, I was just kind of playing the game for an extra 50 minutes going, please stop, please, please, please end. This is cool, but please, I've had enough. It's 3 a.m. I need to go to bed. I have got work tomorrow. Please, Hunter, make me stop, please.
I am a Donkey Kong Country fan, and I still thought it got long in the tooth.
But hey, it's a fabulous game, and I think it'll win.
Yeah, probably. At least Split Fiction being nominated here makes more sense than when it was It Takes Two.
I don't know what you're on about. There's nothing more family friendly than, hey,
Divorce.
Yeah, if we're going through a divorce, let's make sure our kids play a game about it beforehand, so that when it goes, when we tell them about our marriage, they just scream and hope Dr. Hakim comes and fixes our relationship instead. And I know what you're thinking, Ethan. You haven't played It Takes Two yet. Why do you remember the name of the book? And that's none of your business. You don't question my logic. But yeah, good old Donkey Kong Bonanza. You win. Just that simple. Right. Shall we move on? Hunter, if
Yeah.
Best Family wasn't enough, how about Best Fighting? The category that once again proves that you do not need this category every year.
You really don't. Like, one of them's not released. Two of them are collections.
Dude, yeah, legitimately. Legit.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
You don't need this every year like this. Like I say, 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury, Mortal Kombat, Virtua Fighter. Not gonna vote because I haven't played any of them. Put me down for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, all right. I think you might have omitted this on the spreadsheet.
Did I? I
Yeah.
didn't intend to, did I? Was I a naughty boy? Oh, well, I guess I omitted it in the same way that Jeff Keighley omitted having it be good. Um, I thought I had everything, guys? Nobody's perfect.
Uh,
Everybody has flaws. And, I'd like to personally apologize to Hunter and Hunter only because he's the only person that will ever see the spreadsheet.
yeah.
Um,
But anyway, I would have probably guessed my own prediction would have been like 2 XKO probably,
bro,
even though it's not out, but people
bro, they
man,
made a
League
demo
of
3
Legends
years
fans
ago
are
and they're still
weird.
no, no, no. They can't get away with this. They made the same demo and they just keep putting it out, bro. Like
A game that was in
legitimately,
early access won this category, Ethan,
bro,
and then
legitimately,
died.
Marvel Token Fighting Souls, the worst name for a video game ever conceived, is gonna beat this game to the punch on the 2v2 fighter anyway. Like this is like you know what I mean? Like it's like
It's true. You're not wrong. This is why this category is stupid. But
this game is stupid. Screw this category, Jeff. You don't have to have it every year, dude. Like you can chill
have a
a little
best
bit.
platformer every once in a while.
That's what I'm saying. Although this year would have been alright for a best platformer. There were quite a few little good ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is a pathetic category, Jeff. What are you thinking? As we all know, it's only Jeff that does this. What are you doing, Jeff? What are you doing? This week's episode of the HGO podcast is brought to you by Zombies Ate My Staff Sergeant. Now, Hunter, this book dares to answer the age-old question. What would you do in a zombie apocalypse?
Follow Hayden Steele as he finds his own answers to the question while he tries to survive the first night of a zombie outbreak on a military base. With plenty of gripping action and twists and turns along the way, you are sure to be on the edge of your seat from cover to cover.
Follow the link in the description down below to get your copy today. And big thank you to Brandon Knight for sponsoring this episode of the HGO podcast. Next category. Don't have the time to waste on that one. Best RPG, though.
Yeah,
It begins, Hunter. It begins.
it sure does.
For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Avowed, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2. I want to congratulate Hunter. First off, I want to really congratulate Obsidian here for having 2 RPGs released in the year. I think it's really impressive that they're able to get 2 whole video games out and nobody is going to vote for them whatsoever because it's just between like these 3 and even Monster Hunter Wilds is not even in the conversation because they screwed up the performance on PC and they've refused to fix it. So congratulations, Obsidian. You released 2 like 80s on OpenCritic, and that's not gonna do anything here. Monster Hunter Wilds, okay. It's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is the first one where it's like, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33? It will be Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Lock me in for both, dude. Lock me in for both. You got anything to add?
Oh, Expedition 33 is gonna win
Yeah,
this, and it's also gonna foreclose every opposition's house.
that's very well. I think Warhorse is gonna be fine. You know, we all clown on.
Capcom will be fine too.
We all clown. Yeah, Obsidian. Like, what? God, you did a double dip on this year, and maybe you should have held one off. But
It is funny that they're double nominated for the categories just as like spot fillers.
yeah, dude, why not? Why not? I think what I find interesting, we gotta, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not my kind of RPG. I don't really care for it. But what I do have to kind of give them props for is the first Kingdom Come game is not a very good video game. It's like, it runs terribly, it looks terrible, it's not a great video game. It just isn't. I have a friend who absolutely adores it, and I always used to laugh at him and go, "You keep taking those crazy pills, buddy. Knock yourself out." And then the second one comes out, and it's still not for me. And it still isn't my kind of video game. But it does seem like they did genuinely make a good one this time. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah.
executed what they wanted to do, and they did it well. I still have no interest in it whatsoever, but they did a
Has your
great
friend
job.
played it? Because it'd be cosmically funny if he didn't like the good one.
He hasn't played it yet. He has bought
Oh,
it, but he hasn't played it yet. Um, but yeah, this is the first category where Expedition 33 wins. Um, and I don't think I like I say double me down, baby. Like that's
yeah,
the truth
easy.
of it. Easy, easy peasy. Next up, best action or adventure game. Wow, we're still doing this where we have to play the game of Hunter. What is action? What is adventure? What is this? What are we doing?
I don't
Um,
know.
for the best action adventure game, even Jeff doesn't know how to describe it. Literally, just uses the title of the category to describe it. Combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Legitimately, I think just scrap the action stroke adventure and just call it adventure games. I know that people old heads will think, oh, this isn't Grim Fandango. But let's be real here. If you're thinking that, you're either old or you're old
Yeah,
enough to have gone, ooh, those games that came out before I was born, I'll give it a go, like me. So let's be real
yeah.
here. We can just stop calling
Like,
these adventure games. Did you want to say something, Hunter?
oh no, I was just saying, yeah, I agree as far as people being like, oh, but what about the old point and click games? I don't know. Qualify it with the point and click adventure, then. You always have to do that anyway.
And this is what I'm
That's
talking
always
about
how
is,
people describe them.
if someone came up to me and was like, oh yeah, but what about actual adventure games? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. If a Monkey Island came out, or if, you know, Broken Age came out in 2025 instead of 2015, it would still be put in this category, probably. So why are we having this
Yeah,
conversation? Like, sit down, just change the name, because action and action adventure being two separate categories is stupid. Anyway, Silk Song wins this category.
yeah,
Um,
without doubt.
it's this is its flowers, right? This is its flowers. Is it's not going to win in any other category, I don't think. So maybe another one, maybe one or two, but I feel like this is the category that it wins. My vote on these games here. Oh, it's hard between Split Fiction and Death Stranding 2, because here's my predicament here, Hunter. In terms of my personal vote, is I like Death Stranding 2 more, but as a like gameplay experience, like as an adventure game experience, it's hard when it's just a sequel, you know what I mean? When it's just doing the same
Yeah,
thing the last one did, it's very hard for me to be like, you know.
yeah,
We
I
had
know what
that
you mean.
conversation about how we kind of enjoyed Sick and Twisted as we are. We preferred the gameplay of the first one in a lot of ways because it was a bit more painful.
Yeah, the friction was additive to the overall experience.
I'm gonna be a rogue. I'm just gonna keep voting Joseph Faris just so I'm in his good books. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He's not gonna.
Just so he knows who had his back.
I've got you. Love you, Joseph. Got you, buddy. Got you, Hazelight. I do love you, Hazelight. You're fantastic. You will win nothing at this Game Awards, but I just want you to know you are fantastic. Keep making video games. Um, but yeah, Hollow Knight wins it, right?
Yeah, easily. My personal want would be Death Stranding.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, next category. It's the other one. It's best action game. This is for the game where I don't know, you just punch people. I guess that's
It's
that's how
like
we
the other
describe
one,
it.
except it's more combat centric.
Yeah, because that makes sense. It's Battlefield 6,
Yeah,
Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
I will say that usually because of the stupid split they do with this one of these categories is usually lacking, and I think this time around both of them are pretty solid as far as like the only game in this best action here that I shrug at is Battlefield, but that's just because it's not my thing.
But yeah, but it is strong from that. Like, there'll be a lot of audience vote for Battlefield.
Yeah,
I'm going with my gut though, and I'm doubling down on what I want to win and what I think will win. And I think this is Hades 2's category where it gets its flowers. I think this is
yeah,
the category that it wins. I'm voting for Hades 2. Um, again, if a Game of the Year contender is
yeah.
in the list, it's a
More
higher
things change,
chance of
more
it
things
happening.
stay the same. Hey, 80s came out when Doom did the last time and beat it,
Yeah.
so it will be again.
See you in 2030, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think Hades 2 is fantastic. It's a great game. Um, And you go with the Gotti, right? You go with the Gotti. What's nominated for Game of the Year in this list? Hades 2. Okay. It's probably going to be Hades 2. Don't hate the player, hate the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's just Jeff Keighley's shows are oftentimes this predictable. So, there you go. Rock on. Next up on our Will Win tour is a category that we are so informed about, Hunter, that we might as well just be the only people that vote for it, because no one else has played these games, because who plays VR, am I right? Wow, it's
Honestly,
crazy.
though,
It's crazy. VR and AR game, Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. Now, Hunter, this feels like one of those games where, you know, I've gone up to my non-gamer friend and I've given him 5 games. One of them's real and 4 of them aren't. Can he guess which one's real? Like, this is what it feels like to me, where I'm sitting here and I'm going, never
Arcane
heard of
Age
you,
does
never
seem
heard
like a
of you.
made-up title. It seems
You know
fake.
what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
I only know about Marvel's Deadpool VR because it was in a show. At some point. The Midnight Walk I know about because you brought it up on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't even know it had a VR version. Never heard of Ghost Town, never heard of Arcane Age, and I feel like I vaguely remember them announcing an Alien VR game. I didn't know it came out, nor it being called
Yeah.
Rogue Incursion. I'm just gonna, I know I say that I abstain from voting here, I'm just gonna vote the Midnight Walk just because, call
It's the only
me
one that's real.
a curmudgeon here, Hunter, but I feel like VR is like the new licensed game. And what I mean by that is, you know, it's like when when you were younger on the PS2, like every DreamWorks
All the
film would have
licensed games
5,
were bad.
5 ports of a really mediocre video game.
Yeah.
And it feels like VR is just either the odd little gem that's either made for it, like Beat Saber, or it's just an indie game like Moss or Midnight Walk that's pretty cool. And then just, look, it's Deadpool, look, it's Batman, look, it's, you know, it's this thing that you know and love. It's Ghostbusters VR, it's this but VR. And you just, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You wonder
I,
why
I
VR
see what
hasn't
you
taken
mean
off.
because,
And it's
like,
probably, yeah.
you know, none of them ever come. None of them still, with the broad exceptions of like, I'm sure half like Alex was crazy or whatever, but most of them are
Revolutionary,
still just
apparently.
the very Dave and Buster's kind of experiences. Whereas
100%.
the Midnight Walk, as the only one I can actually talk about since I played it in its controller-based form there. Very simple gameplay, but you know, vibes-based puzzles, kind of thing that you can enjoy regardless.
Totally. Anyway, Godspeed, Midnight Walk. Godspeed.
Is
Let's
that your
move on to
vote
our.
for what you think will win too?
Yeah, because it's the only game that I think is a real video game. This is
Yeah.
where I feel like we go with on this one. Again, I think there'll be a load of people that just abstain from voting in this category. So I feel like it'll be either that or Alien. That'll be my guess. That or Alien. I don't think I heard a single person talk about Deadpool VR, so there you go. It's not like Arkham Shadow last year where you kind of just knew because it was apparently a very
Yeah, where
good.
someone was talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, dude, best mobile game. For the best game playable on a mobile device. I wouldn't have got that one without that description. Thanks, Jeff. Got my back there. Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves. Put me down for that Uma Musume goodness, Hunter. I, for one, love gacha games, especially when they are based off of horses that were in real life turned into anime girls. Woot woot.
Yeah, this one kind of hit a point in popularity earlier this year where it was too much. It's too much for it to be anything else.
Yeah,
I would
100%.
think so anyway, unless there's like some hidden soccer mom beloved category in this category, but I don't think there is.
Unless the Genshin fans who cannot vote for Genshin for the first time in their lives have to vote for Wuthering Waves as some sort of No, I think it's Uma Musume, right? It had that zeitgeist moment. It was very popular with people. You know, you had the streamers on it. You know what I mean? You had all sorts of random streamers. The normie streamers were playing it. You know, you had Northern Lion playing it. I feel like at that point, you know, and Northern Lion's the streamer's streamer hunter. So if the streamer's streaming it, then it must be good. It must be the game of the year. There you go. Get it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it will. And you know what? I think I want it to win as well because I just want to hear Jeff Keighley have to say the words "Uma Musumi, pretty Derby." That's what I want to hear him say, and I can't wait for him
He'll
to say
still say it with less
congratulations.
disdain than he does when he intros a Sonic thing.
He'll give it to Sydney Newman or whoever's doing the opening bit of the show because he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Ugh, mobile game. I can't respect that on my stage. It has to be in the pre-show because that's what he
I mean, I
does."
agree, but
um, there you go. Right, Hunty. Hunty?
uh-huh.
We gone to Uma. I was too busy going Uma Musume now, dude. And a Hunty instead of Hunter. Where did the R go, dude? Where did the R go, Hunter? Please tell me.
Oh, it disappeared.
Oh, dear. That's crazy. It's late, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I promise you, I will never do it again. Let's vote for best debut indie game, a category that only has 4 because somebody withdrew. Let's talk about that real quick, shall we?
Yeah, Mecha Bonk wasn't the debut game, apparently.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? If you don't know the lore behind Megabonk, is it's there's the person that made the developer that made Megabonk seems to very much be. I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't particularly exactly remember, but it seems to be that he is a dev who used to have a YouTube channel that made another pretty popular game that disappeared off the face of the earth and then made this game under a different name. And people have kind of put
Ah,
2 and 2 together, but I think fair play to him because, there are games here, literally half of this list is games that are made by people who just made that thing, made games at a different studio.
yeah, which is that's like half of what's won this category since they've been doing it.
Yeah. So fair play to him. I respect it. Some great games here. Dispatch, only nomination Dispatch has got, which Alana Pierce, one of the voice actors who also has worked in the media before for video games, mentioned that the game was not the game was available for nominations because it started, but by the time that nominations were going through, only half of the game was out, so people weren't, you know, should we put it down? We don't know. What if the second half's bad? So everyone was kind of scrambling to think, should we or should we not put Dispatch in? Um,
Yeah.
which is a shame because Dispatch is genuinely one of my games of the year. It's fantastic. You should play it. It is Telltale, like at its best. It is fantastic. Um, Hunter, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here. I am gonna put my tinfoil hat on. Let's
hmm
go crazy. This to me feels like the only category one of the only categories that Expedition 33 is in that
This
has a
and
chance
its
of
next
not
one.
winning. Yeah, that it has a chance of not winning. And the only reason I say that is I'm not talking about player vote because I think there'll be a lot of players votes. I think the players vote will be split between Dispatch and Clair Obscur. That's where I think it will go. Is there'll be a lot of Dispatch and there'll be a lot of Clair Obscur. I think there'll be a lot of critics that go, okay, it's one best indie game, it's going to win Game of the Year. And I feel like there'll be a lot of people here who go Goblin mode and go, I want to vote for Blueprints somewhere here. And I'm going to vote for Blueprints here. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to vote for Blueprints here.
Yeah.
Personally, because I don't think it's a good use of debut indie game. I really don't, because like I say, the studio leads of this project, the person that started this game, the three leads on this project all came from Ubisoft. All of them. It is not a
Yeah.
debut. It really,
It-
it's hard. It really is hard because then you're clasping at straws and you're going, okay, so does it have to legitimately be a first ever time project of of any importance by a creative? It's hard.
Honestly, I think that would be a more interesting category if you just scratch the indie from it and it was like best debut title across like any scope of game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be
It would be
fantastic.
I think it would be less. I think it would be less weird when you have people who made other games elsewhere showing up as a new team, getting nominated for that too. I can't really
100%.
explain why. It just feels less strange.
100%. Um, I don't know. This is the only category where I feel like I have to try and metagame it here to get the right answer. Because, I do feel like there'll be the audience vote. Sad to say, doesn't really matter that much with this when it comes to the Game Awards.
No, definitely not.
And I feel like there will be plenty of critics in the circle who will be literally like, we're voting Claroscore for everything else. There'll be people that are going, okay, one category. What do we, one category? And there'll be I think there are a lot of people who will be like
Blueprints
Dispatch, and there'll
does
be a lot of
have
people
its
with Blueprint.
sickos.
Dude, I am a bit of a Blueprint sicko myself, dude. I have seen the vision.
Yeah.
I've seen the light. I think Conda Ross is a genius. And I think that, Blueprints is, along with Dispatch, I think they will be the two games that come out of this award season where I sit there and I go, biggest snubs by far, because these games are phenomenal. And yes, Expedition 33 is a phenomenal video game. It's an excellent video game. But it's more the story. You know what I mean? It's like it's the journey
Yeah.
we've been on. It's the Oscar cycle. This is the first video game, Hunter, that I truly believe has had an Oscar award cycle where you have genuinely had people. It's the story. It's the story of three ex-Ubisoft devs going off to make their own thing and finding people at sickos on Reddit who want to make it as well. Come on over to my mansion. There'll be 32 of us and a dog, and we'll call it Expedition 33. And that is the, the ethos, the story behind it. And that's what's causing it to be such a big deal. Because it is a movement, right? It is
Yeah.
kind of it's a fight back against AAA, and that you can make fantastic video games with a smaller development team. That's the story of Expedition 33. If Ubisoft had made Expedition 33, I think everybody would sit there going, it's a great game, but I think we'd be having more of a conversation about everything else. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. I'm going all in on this one, though, got a bit of heart. I feel like the Expedition 33 may very well win this category, but I'm just going to go all in.
Yeah, it very well might, but also I 100% see where you're going with it. This category might be one of the only ones that loses. I think it does stand the most chance to lose here to Blueprints, because Blueprints has its own
Genuinely.
broad appeal.
On it, like, my top list of this year is going to be so difficult because there are so many games here where I'm like, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Blueprints is one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. It might be my favorite puzzle game. It's up there with Portal 2. It's like,
Yeah,
Dispatch is my favorite interactive story video game of all time. It's like we're getting to that level where we are just listing like top fives, where it's like these could all be put in the pantheon of greatest in their genre, and we're having to fight them up against flipping like Battlefield and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and to
stupid.
somebody else, that sicko Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is that one of the best RPGs they've ever played, and it's just like, what are we doing? Could no one
Yeah.
wait till 2026? My God.
Grand Theft Auto could.
It's gonna wait till 27, mate. It's gonna wait. Got a good ring to it. But yeah. So what are you going with, Hunter? What are you going
I'm
with?
going with Blueprints as
Hell
well.
yeah, brother. You love to see it. Godspeed, Blueprints. Godspeed. Anyway, now back over to your regularly scheduled programming of indie game bonanza. Best indie game. It's like the same
Better
thing, but not a
category
debut
than
in it.
Game of the Year.
Yeah, pretty close, mate. Pretty close. Absolum, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscura, Session 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight, Silk Song. Indie games so strong this year, they added 6 instead of 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
This is
they normally
like,
don't break that limit.
again, Hunter, this is hard because it is like Expedition 33 is probably going to win this game category, Game Awards category, just because, again, of that notion of it not being from the mainstream, fighting back against the oppressors. I love Hades too. I adore Blueprints. I think like I say, there are games here. Like these 3 games, we're talking like top 3 games of the year for me. Are these 3 games?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I don't know where I'd personally vote, because when I think an indie game, in my headhunter, I'm still of the old school mindset of, Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy, Thomas Was Alone, of, really small teams doing really small projects that are really cool. And now indie is just so different, where it is just like, yeah, you can be indie and have a team of 40 people, as long as you're not
Yeah.
published. I'm like, bro, that's like
Or even if
Crash
you are
2.
published in some
It's like
cases,
Crash
as
2.
long as it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Um, I think Expedition 33 will win.
I think Silk Song will win this one.
Really?
Yeah, just a feeling.
That's okay.
Like
Go for it.
everything you said about Expedition 33 and its story, I feel like Silk Song kind of has a story of its own with, you know, it took us this long because we were just having so much fun making it and all of that. And, the fan base that did just go rabid for 6 years in the lead up to it.
You see, they did, and I think I agree with you, and I think any other year it's a slam dunk. There is, like I say, the Expedition 33 pipeline, this hype, this pantheon of like gods that are just shining down on Expedition 33, like all their energy and their hopes and their dreams, is so strong. But also, it's the fact that Silksong was huge. It came out, it was absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But you also had the whiners. There was so much whining. Like, social media was filled with a load of people who were like, wow, I wasn't expecting this sequel to a hard video game to be so darn hard.
Yeah.
Why is
I
it
don't
so
know. If
long?
if we were
There were
living in
loads
a
of people who were
pre
sitting there going, oh, it's 60
Sekiro
hours.
world, I think I'd be more inclined to regard the people who are complaining about it being hard.
Oh no, yeah.
But
But I think there's going to be enough people that were like, oh, it was too long, I didn't finish it. Oh, it was too this, it was too that. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see where we wind up on Silksong in a year's time. I'm really
yeah,
interested. I have a friend who I won't mention their name because I don't want to I don't want to say who they are in case they're watching. And if you are, you know who you are. But they've been playing Silksong for a while now. And they've said to me they're a massive fan. They love Hollow Knight, they love Silksong. But even they were like, I just want it to be over now. I got to the end of Act 2, another act started. I'm ready to be over with it. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like too much of a good thing.
yeah, I know what you mean.
So I'm
Like,
interested to see what in a year's time, what are people's overall impressions of Silksong. Because it's
yeah,
like, with Zeitgeist games, you really, it's like with The Last of Us Part 2 or with Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff like that. You've got, like, GTA 6 will be the exact same way. You've kind of got to wait a couple of years, let the tension simmer a little bit, and then see how it comes out. So I'm going to be interested in Silksong. I think you have got a chance, though. I think it's
yeah,
Expedition 33 versus Silksong. I think that's what this category is.
yeah, pretty much.
But,
And all the same, my want is Hades too.
as much as I do love Blueprints, and I would like Blueprints to win as well. Both of mine are on Expedition just because I do want that message sent. I do want that beacon sent out, dude. I do want it sent out. I want to launch the bazooka at Ubisoft HQ that is hope and dreams and go, take that, Ubisoft. You see this? That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
While they're sitting there making Assassin's Creed 27 with the life force draining from them.
Or like 5,000 remakes, according to,
Yeah, well,
the no.
Best community support, as we like to call it, the No Man's Sky category, represents No Man's Sky and 4 other random games every year to partake in the best community support role. Dude, this is just roll the dice between Final Fantasy 14 and No Man's Sky on who did the better job this year. You know what I mean? Because every time it's those same 2 games that get nominated for this category. It's Baldur's
I
Gate
think
3,
last year
14,
Baldur's Gate 3
Fortnite.
was one that, like, right before nominations went out, they put out the big old update that was,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just stupid.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they've done anything like that since then, or if they
Mm.
have, it slipped under my radar, so
I think it's minor bits and pieces.
yeah. And
I
like
know
the
no
Final
man.
Fantasy 14 expansion that came out this year, a lot of people didn't really like.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like Fortnite has been very hit and miss this year as well. Did in for a penny, in for a pound, dude. I am a Sean Murray believer, dude. I think that Hello Games is going to win this category yet again. Because here's the thing, right? Helldivers 2's had some cool stuff. It's come to Xbox and stuff like that. But again, it's had its ups and downs this year. I feel there's been a lot of ups and downs in multiplayer games. Monster Hunter Wilds is a great example. Not even nominated. A Monster Hunter game isn't nominated in the year it comes out.
Yeah, that is pretty whack.
Like I say, I think that, it's been a rocky road for multiplayer games this year. In terms of community support. So I'm gonna vote for No Man's Sky, dude. I feel like, people always I feel like people always have these arguments on the internet, Hunter, of, who's done the better job here? CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077 or Hello Games with No Man's Sky? And my answer will always be Hello Games with No Man's Sky. Because Cyberpunk's fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorite RPGs ever made. When I finally got around to playing it when it was fixed in 2023, it was great. But that's a huge company doing a huge, doing a massive rework, but it's a huge company doing a huge thing. Whereas Hello Games is such a small team that took a train wreck of a video game and turned it into something incredible that, you know, they could have very well just shut down and not done anything because it was
Yeah.
9 people in an office in the UK, right? And
Yeah,
they've
very
turned it
true.
around into something massive that you can play everywhere. It's always releasing free updates. It's on every bloody system. Like, you
I
know what
also
I
feel
mean?
like there was like a level of abject denial with Cyberpunk where people still like wanted to see the best in that game even when it was busted. Whereas as soon
100%.
as No Man's Sky came out and wasn't what they thought it was going to be, everyone was like, "Ah, to the bin with you. Dunk on you every 2 minutes."
I just think it's funny because whenever Cyberpunk does an update, because they do like 1 or 2 updates every year, everyone's like, "Oh, cool, that's sick, thanks, guys." Every time No Man's Sky pushes an update, which is something ridiculous, like 4 or 5 times a year, all I see is everybody replying to Sean, going, "Sean, no, stop giving us free stuff. Let us pay for something, Sean, please, for the love of anything, let us pay." Like, like I just think they've nailed it. So yeah, I'm putting my heart and soul into No Man's Sky as I always do. Um, I'm a believer, baby. I can't wait for Light No Fire or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called, right? Or
It's such a cool idea. The idea of No Man's Sky, but everyone's stuck on one planet together is just such a good idea. Like, I genuinely can't wait for it whenever it comes out. Anyway, best ongoing game, which is basically the same category. They just do it twice.
yeah.
They love it. They do it twice. I think best ongoing is basically, just whereas best community is just like, hey, we have a cool community that likes, and we like giving them cool stuff and they like responding back. Whereas this game is just like, hey, we might not even talk to our community, but we still release some cool stuff, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the point of both of these
Yeah,
categories,
I
mate?
don't know what the difference is. Uh
I can tell you now, Hunter. Let me run them through you real quick. Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Um, I don't think it'll be Fortnite. I don't think it'll be Final Fantasy 14 because, of like I say, I don't think people took that very well. Marvel Rivals has also been very hit and miss this year.
Yeah, like if this was the first half of the year and you asked me, I would have been like, yeah, probably that. But I feel like its star fizzled
It
in the year
has,
since
dude.
it's come out.
I think a lot of people, the hype's kind of over. It is just kind of living its life. It's a bit like Overwatch. It's living its life now. It has its audience, and that audience will stay. But it's just living its life. Um, where you going, Hunter? Where you going?
Um, I don't know. I almost feel compelled to predict Marvel Rivals anyway, though, because it's the odd one out here.
Yeah, I would say I'd say Marvel Rivals is going to win. I would like Sean Murray to take home more game awards than ever before. I just want the entire office to be flooded with game awards. So I'm gonna vote for him again, just for fun. Um, but yeah, that's what I would go with. Marvel Rivals, probably. Games for Impact, ladies and gentlemen. let me tell you about the impact that all of these games have had on my life. Games for Impact is the category for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Again, I love that we're talking in hyperbole. I love it. You know what I mean? Why can't you just go sad games that make you think? But anyway, Consume Me, Desplote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wonder Stop. I have played one and a bit of these games. I played all of Lost Records and I played a tiny,
Played
tiny bit of
2.
South of Midnight.
Yeah.
And I stopped. And from those 2 experiences, I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the other 3.
Yeah.
Listen, Lost Records. I'm a we're big Don't Nod fans here, right? We like Don't Nod. Lost Records just does nothing for me. It was a badly told story with some interesting enough characters, that just kind of didn't do anything. It was just a nothing burger. I wanted to go in and I wanted to love Lost Records, and especially that second half is just not worth your time. It just isn't. It just is not worth your time. I saw Lost Records Hunter during Black Friday was like on sale physically for about like £10 or something like that. And even then I was like, I'm never playing this game again. Why am I gonna like why would I buy this? Like genuinely, why would I buy this? I don't want it. I'm never gonna play it again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It
Um
is funny Lost Records being on here because, like, ow, what? Did you just go, don't nod, here you go?
yeah.
Like, the
It doesn't
alternate
really have a
reality
message.
where they left out the magic, this would be
Mhm.
like a slam dunk winner almost.
Mhm.
But
But
that's not
even
the
then,
game that we have.
but even then, and I don't know Hunter. Let's have this conversation anyway. Um You know how when we get to say, best, when we're talking about a best action game, and we're like, oh, I like Death Stranding 2, but its gameplay is basically, it's basically the same as Death Stranding 1, in terms of gameplay. It's just, it's the same.
Yeah.
When do we get to the point where we start having these conversations about Deck 9 and Don't Nod and going, it's the same game? We're talking about games for impact here, which are games that are like Despelote, like Consume Me, which are going and telling very unique and Wonder Stop's the same way, right? South of Midnight
Yeah.
is too. They're telling very unique stories that have got a really heartfelt message, and I'd hate to sugarcoat all, I hate to group all of Don't Nod and Deck Nine's kind of games together, but it is just the kind of nostalgia bait video game that's about a gay or bi protagonist. And it's
Yeah.
like, they don't ever really do anything interesting. The only one that I think truly did something interesting after Life is Strange is Tell Me Why. And fair play, that one did get nominated, and it rightfully deserved it. But, like, the
Yeah.
rest of them, I'm not sitting there and going Double Exposure or, True Colors. I'm like, does it do those LGBTQ storylines well? Yes, but is it doing anything particularly new with them? Not really, you know? Like,
Yeah, and they always have elements of other stuff, but that's never what they're focused on, and it's almost never the reason why someone's nominating it.
representation is
Uh,
awesome, but I don't think this should just be the representation category. It should be what is doing something new and unique in that medium. What stories are we telling, Like, and there's nothing with Lost Records where it is doing anything particularly new that Don't Nod hasn't already done and been nominated for before.
yeah.
Um, and it doesn't do it better either.
No, no,
Um,
it almost assuredly does it
It's like
perhaps
how Double
worse.
Exposure got nominated for this last year, and you're just sitting there banging your
Yeah.
head on the table because games for negative impact, maybe. Like, my goodness, like, like I'm banging my head on the table. Is that an impact, a physical
Ugh.
impact on my dome? Like, my goodness. Yeah, Hunter, I'll let you read through some of these. You played Wonder Stop and South of Midnight.
I did play Wander Stop. I haven't played South of
Oh, you
Midnight
haven't,
yet.
have you?
It's one I'm gonna pick up when it inevitably gets sent over to PlayStation.
I forgot it hadn't
But
come to PlayStation. I forgot I played it on
yeah,
Game Pass PC.
yeah. But no, I really liked Wander Stop. I think it's got a solid message of it deals with themes of burnout and all of that. Um, Despelote is on the list of things I want to get to since it's only like a couple hours, and I think that is going to be what will win,
I think
just
so
off of
too.
the.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of unique. This category loves the old story about a country
Hmm.
play, like a couple years ago when HGO won,
Yeah.
and I was like, uh-huh. But all right, sure.
Yeah.
But no, Despelote is what I think will win. I would love if Wanderstop won, just
I'm
because.
gonna vote for Wanda Stop just because of the vibes. But
Yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. I just I hate how with this category it does just feel like they do just pick, oh, it's a Don't Nod game, it's a Det 9 game, it's a it's a they just do kind of go off of, they just go to the regular sources, and I'm like, it should be games like Despelote, like Consume Me, like Wanda Stop, that should be even
yeah.
South of Midnight, because South of Midnight does some incredible stuff with, you know, the deep south and the
Folklore that you
culture of
don't
that and the
hear
folklore.
about
Yeah.
anymore, or a lot, I should say, because
Yeah, it's
people
it's
don't
it's
really.
cool, right? It's cool. I'm sorry, I'm just hating on Lost Records, but it was genuinely the biggest disappointment of the year for me. So
You got lucky
uh,
this time, Mario Kart.
you got Mario Kart. You were this close, but it's close. And unfortunately for Assassin's Creed Shadows, my expectations were already in the gutter before I started playing it, so I can't say I was truly disappointed. Um, but yeah, innovation and accessibility. This is the one where they have that really cool menu where you can tune a load of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, again, this is like it's interesting, Hunter, because we usually like to call this one the sponsored by PlayStation category, because usually it is a PlayStation studio that wins this, because Sony just likes chucking money at the accessibility tab, which is cool.
Yeah, it's good that they do that. It's also weird that Ghost of Yotei isn't here.
I agree.
Hmm.
Um, the games that are here are Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC, and South of Midnight. Yes, I had just taken a swig of a fizzy drink, and I was trying to not burp on camera because I'm not a dirty, dirty boy. Don't know why I said it like that. My goodness, it is late. Maybe I should just shut up, Hunter. What do you think?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't really know. It's always hard to guess this category because don't really ever look at these options most of the time. Uh, I'm gonna just throw the dart at Doom because I remember looking at the options there, and there was a big old list of stuff.
That's fair. Um, I know Assassin's Creed did a lot of work with their accessibility stuff. There's a load of cool stuff there. If you are, you know, hard of hearing or visually impaired, there's some good stuff there. They also decided to add in accessibility options. The one hit hidden blade, that's an accessibility option. So I think it automatically should be disqualified for hiding mechanics that make the game more fun under accessibility. Like, my goodness, like, you know what I mean? What is with that, Hunter? That should just be the
Yeah, I
default.
don't get it. That's what the Hidden Blade was for so many other games.
So yeah, in for a penny, mate. I haven't played any of the other ones other than South of Midnight for like 25 minutes, and I don't even remember going in the accessibility tab. So I'll also go for Doom. Why not?
Sick.
Uh, r- Rip and tear and shield and punch or whatever the new slogan is. Anyway, works for me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were thinking, hey, this podcast isn't going to be long enough, don't you worry. We can talk about best performance for a little while. Best performance is, you'll never guess this, Hunter, awarded for the best performance in voice acting, motion, and or performance capture. Uh, Sponsored by Expedition 33, by the way. Anyway, nominations are
Yeah, definitely.
Ben Starr for Verso in Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Charlie Cox for Gustav in Clair Obscure Expedition 33, uh, Erika Ishii as Atsu in Ghost of Yotei, Jennifer English as Mael in Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Kanatsu Kato as what's the protagonist's name in Silent Hill F? I don't remember what.
Hinako, Shizumi.
Henoko in Silent Hill F, and that's very important that we noted last week. First time where a Japanese actor has been nominated for their performance in a Japanese game, which is cool as hell. The
Yeah,
Japanese voiceover
very
is
cool.
the one that's been nominated. Very cool. And Troy Baker for playing Higgs in. Oh wait, no, that's not correct. He's under Indiana Jones. He's under Indiana. We watched that last hour of Death Stranding 2 and went, yeah, though, he sounds just like Harrison Ford. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
It'd be like if he got nominated for Arkham Origins for doing his Mark Hamill impression.
Bro, this is literally, like, genuinely, that is true. It's also like going, oh, yes, you know. It's just like a random offshoot where it's like you're watching Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and you go, wow, you know, Mio's voice actor is great. Let's nominate her for Elden Ring. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, what
Yeah.
are we doing? Like, this, I love Troy. Troy's great. Troy deserves a nomination here, but not for indie. He should be in here for Death Stranding. Like, that is the one performance from Death Stranding 2 where I'm like, genuinely fantastic. They're all good, but also it's, you know,
Him and Neil, I would say, are the two that I'd be like all about.
true. But it's crazy that we went from 2019, where, you know, Jeff Keighley went a little too crazy on the Death Stranding nominations, to now no nominations for
Again,
Best
again,
Performance.
missing the best performance too.
Yeah, mental. Um, but I don't think we have to worry about this because I don't think Troy Baker will be winning this category. Sorry, Troy.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
non-issue here.
Same for Erika Ishii. I think Erika Ishii was great in Ghost of Yote. I
Yeah,
like Atsu more than I like Jin, which is saying something. So you did that well, Erika, at least. But again, there's nothing about Erika's performance. It's great, but there's nothing that's like latching me onto it, you know, as a
yeah.
bet.
Like the only thing that really comes to mind is a scene from near the end, and I'm not sure if I'll be thinking about that a year from now.
Yeah, I agree. Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F is great. I don't think she'll win again, but I think
Yeah,
it's really
probably
nice
not,
to have
but
that
it's a good nod.
representation. It's like I'll say the same thing that I said about Xenoblade 3 in 2023, where it's like you've won, like fans of Konatsu's performance, fans of Silent Hill F, you've won here. This is your win, is being nominated, being recognized. Like when Xenoblade 3 was nominated for Game of the Year, no chance in heck that was ever going to win, but that's your win right there, is you got Jeff Keighley to notice you. There you go. That's a
Yeah,
win in that book.
it's like in a lot of previous years where the token indie nomination for Game of the Year is usually considered a win by most of them.
Yeah, 100%. Um, so yeah, it's mainly a fight here between the three expeditioners. And when I say the three expeditioners, I really mean it's a fight between two expeditioners here because we all love Charlie Cox, but also let's be real here. Even he's admitted you know,
I
he,
think he's said as much that he would pass the trophy to the performance or the motion capture guy.
which is fair. I think it's, you know,
Yeah,
I think that Charlie Cox's performance is fantastic. I think though, we've said it before, we said it last week. If you were going to give it to a celebrity that was in that game, Andy Serkis's performance in that game
yeah,
is phenomenal as Renoir.
it was real
He
good.
should be nominated. I think Gustav is fantastic as well. Don't get me wrong, but you know, Renoir is in the game for hours and hours and hours. You know, he's got so much performance in that game, and it's all
You
fantastic.
get to see so many different sides of him too.
And unlike Charlie Cox, Andy Serkis was very involved in his bits and pieces and was very interested in it. There were interviews with him when the game came out. He was doing
Yeah.
interviews alongside Ben Starr and Jennifer English where he was like, oh yeah, I loved the idea of it and stuff like that. Whereas Charlie Cox keeps getting asked, what's your opinion on Expedition 33? He's like,
I
I
don't
don't
know. I'm a
remember what it
fraud.
was. What is that? What is that? I think now he's at a point where he's like, hey, I guess I might play it at some point. I'm like, yeah, you probably should, mate. You probably should see your work for a
Yeah.
little bit. Um, I think this is very much a, you know, not to spoil Expedition 33, but we kind of end at where that game does, where we've got Jennifer English versus Ben Starr a little bit here. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
I know who I'm voting for, but I think Jennifer English wins. I would
I'm
like
gonna
Ben
go with
Stark to win.
Ben Starr to win.
Really? I want
Yeah,
Ben Starr to win. He's my boy,
I
and I
don't
think
know.
he was robbed in 2023 for Final Fantasy 16, but that's just me.
Yeah, I know. I agree wholeheartedly, but you know, I don't know. When I think of who people are talking about
Hmm.
as far as the characters and all that, I feel like more people bring up Verso first before Mael. That's not the discount. Um, that's not the discount Jennifer English at all, because I do think she does a great job.
I think Jennifer English is great. I love her performance as Mael. It's interesting because I think I said to you, right, when before I played Expedition 33, when we were going around and like, oh, this game looks cool, but the idea of having to drag around your teenage sister along the, you know what I mean? Like, it's like there's a lot of games like that, especially in JRPGs, where you have to drag the child character around, and you're like, "Ugh, I can't be bothered." And I think the reason that The Last of Us did so well is because of Ashley Johnson and the fact that she managed to
Yeah.
make Ellie likable. It's not annoying to have Ellie around. And I think Jennifer English does the same thing where it's like Mael is one of those
Oh
very
yeah.
rare few teenage characters where they feel like one like a genuine like they actually do feel like a teenager in that situation, but they're not annoying. They're not
Yeah, not
kind
at
of
all. It
they're not a
helps that she's like the
burden.
best damage dealer in the game,
Yeah,
so
100%.
hard to
She
have
actually
beef with
yeah.
your best character.
But you're not sitting there going, "Oh, I feel like I'm babysitting here." You're just watching a character who actually
Yeah.
is very important to the narrative, and I really appreciate that. But also, there's just so much nuance to Ben's performance. Like, Mael as a character very much wears her emotions on her sleeve at all times. And it's a very powerful performance, but I think there is so much of Ben's performance which is very nuanced. And I have a feeling, Hunter, I've yet to replay Expedition 33. I will want eventually replay it. But I feel like
Yeah.
after you've got to the end, rewatching that entire game, I feel like you'll see Ben's performance in a completely different light now knowing the full picture. He just holds so much of it back. He's so restrained in his performance a lot of the time. And then when you get to the end and you do get those really powerful moments with him, there's that scene in one of the endings, and I
I
just
know,
look
where he
at it and I'm like, oh man, like genuinely, it's so good. It's so good. I would love Ben to win this. I really would. Um, I'm happy that but one of them will win it, and I'm very happy that one of
Yeah,
them
one
will
of them
win.
will win it. Also,
But I
Ben
do want
Starr's
it to
like the
stay.
internet's boy right now. I think he will
I'm.
uh
I don't want to say this because I don't want to jinx him too soon, but I feel like we get a video game performance artist like a decade or so. You had Nolan North in the late 2000, in the 2000s and the early 2010s. You had Nolan North, then you had Troy Baker in the majority of the 2010s and the 2020s. I feel like Ben is almost becoming that, if that makes sense,
yeah.
where it's like you're never disappointed when you find out Ben Starr's in something. You're not going into Hades and going, "Damn it, they've given him another role." You're like, "Oh, sick, that's Ben Starr, and he's doing a pretty good job as Prometheus." Okay, like there you go. Like it's just like
Yeah. Yeah, like he
he's
was in enough games this year that he could have had his own best Ben Starr character category in this.
true, but he's also just like he's a good ambassador for like video games. He's very passionate
Yeah,
about
whenever
the
he's
craft
in
and
on a
about the
project, he's
medium.
like in on it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's my vote. I think Jennifer English is going to win though. Don't know why. That's just my gut. Anyway, Godspeed, Expedition 33. Best
Yeah, for
audio
sure.
design. Recognizing the best in game audio and sound design. Now, this is interesting because this is where we start to have these like conversations, right? Of like audio design, right? Usually is a horror category. Usually.
Yeah.
again, I love
Did
Cloud Obscure
Battlefield have
Expedition 33.
presentation that they showed people?
Oh, were they
'Cause
talking about ray traced audio and stuff like that? Like,
yeah, like, unless they did that, because that's how Call of Duty won the one
bro,
year was,
you're just still
listen to our
you're still
PowerPoint.
livid. You're still livid. You're still livid that I pulled that one out of the hat and I was right. You're still livid,
No,
and you know
I think
what?
it wasn't this before that?
Pardon?
Like, I thought they got that for the, year before we started this show.
No, no, no. That was Modern Warfare
Oh,
2022.
no. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I in my head, out of these games, yeah, again, I don't know where the critics are gonna go on Silent Hill F, but that would be it'd be between Battlefield 6 and Silent Hill F. That would be my two that I go for. Because here's the thing: is Cyber Obscure Expedition 33, incredible soundtrack, but in terms of like actual sound design, is it satisfying? Yes, but it's not. There's nothing there that I'm sitting there that's going, "Wow, this is exceptional."
it doesn't, it
Doesn't
doesn't,
stand out.
level up the game in any kind of way.
Same for Ghost of Yote. It very much is fantastic, but it's more of the same.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2, it could win, but also, again, it's more of Death Stranding, so it's very hard for me. I don't know what I'm going to go for. If I
Honestly,
was to
one that I
vote out
think
of the
should have
ones
been
I'd
here that
play,
isn't,
yeah. Go on, Hunter. What are you voting?
uh,
I would vote for
the
Death Stranding
Midnight
2 here because that's the one I played. But
yeah, the one that I would vote is Silent Hill F out of all of the ones I have played, the audio design is part of what makes horror games, such a level above in that regard. But I think the Midnight Walk should have been nominated for this. They have segments in that game where you push a button to close your eyes and then you gotta follow the sounds,
hmm,
and it's very competently done. So
hmm, interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for I want Death Stranding 2 to win. I think Battlefield 6 is going to win. That's my guess. Because, out of the three I've played, Death Stranding 2 is the one that I'd say was better with its audio. And the only reason is just because the vibes are immaculate in that game when you're just wandering around the environment, when you're trudging through the snow and all that jazz. It genuinely feels like you're trudging through the snow with the sound design and
Yeah,
all that
the
jazz.
crunch.
The blizzard coming at you. Whereas in Ghost of Yote, when I'm walking around in the snow, I just feel like I'm
Sounds
in
like
a snow
everywhere else.
biome. Yeah. Anyway, here's the one that is a bit more impactful. Best score and music. This is for, you guessed it, the best score and music. Um, Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silksong, Darren Korb for Hades 2, Lorien Testard for Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Tomo Otawa for Ghost of Yote, and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Hard category. Very hard
Yeah, good
category.
category. Oh,
Um, you know, uh, it's hard, right? Because it's like we were having a bit of this conversation last week. I have not listened to Hollow Knight's soundtrack that much. I assume it's fantastic
yeah.
because the first Hollow Knight had a fantastic soundtrack.
It's got
Um,
some tunes, yeah. Pretty
Ghost of
good.
Yote, it has a fantastic soundtrack, but again, it's not like I don't think it'll win this category just because I don't think it's at that level. Um, Death Stranding 2 might have my favorite song of the year in it because Rainy's theme is immaculate. There's like genuinely, I don't know what Woodkid and Ludwig were doing, but they were cooking. Like, my goodness. I also adore
Yeah.
To the Wilder. I love that soundtrack. I think it's brilliant. But I think a lot of people in the voting mind will go, isn't a lot of that licensed music?
That didn't
Um,
stop Death Stranding from winning the first go around.
I know, right? But fool me once, shame
But
on me. Fool me
yeah,
twice, shame on you. Where it's like, sorry, other way around. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But you know what I mean? Where it's like, I think there will be a lot of voters that go, yeah, but Death Stranding's a lot of licensed music, when they won't think that actually Death Stranding 2 had a lot more original music written for it.
there was a lot more original compositions for 2 than there was the first game.
So yeah, I think this is a. I got that's the thing is again it's what is the power of Expedition 33. I think Expedition 33 has a phenomenal soundtrack, and it's got that it's got that incredible story of this this
Yeah, the
random
composer.
yeah, you know, the head of Sandfall going onto a random blog, finding the latest like thing that's been posted, and it's good old Lorian here who has just posted some random stuff, and he sends him a DM and is like, "Hey, do you want to write some music for my game project?" And it ends up being this.
Oh, yeah, it's
There's
really
like
good.
140 songs or something ridiculous on that soundtrack. It is huge. It's a massive soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and I think of
A
like
lot of them are, like, above 5 minutes long too.
I
Like,
just
a lot
think
of the
of
boss themes are 7-minute power metal epics.
yeah, or I just think of like Lumiere's theme, or I think of the one that always gets me is the underwater battle music.
Oh, yeah,
Is
that's a good one.
so funky and cool with the weird, like, you know, the drum beats kind of representing like the glugs of water and just like stuff like that. And then you sit there and you go, oh, this underwater section hunter must be like 3 hours long because they've spent so much time on the music. And you're in and out of there within
No?
like 30 minutes. And you're like, what
Yeah, it's
is this
insane.
game? Um
There's
Hades
a,
2 is fantastic. Obviously, Darren
oh, yeah.
Korb always knocks it out of the park. But also, again, it's with that Death Stranding kind of syndrome, and maybe that's what Hollow Knight's gonna struggle with, where it's like, you know, you've already had a big tub of ice cream. Do you want another tub? Yes, and I love that tub as well, but it's, you know, I've had this tub before. It's good. It's hard. This is a hard one. It's very
I think
challenging.
Expedition 33 will win it.
I agree. I agree.
Uh, I think, painting in a very broad stroke, and this will
Hmm.
be the way that I rationalize this, the OST in some ways reminds me a lot of Nier Automata.
Yeah.
So, Nier is in this award show a cheat code.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just think, again, here's the thing is you look at all these people and they're all extremely talented, but Lorian is just a rando off the internet who was added to this project that has made an incredible soundtrack. I feel like here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, hey, I don't like how Expedition 33 is going to sweep all these awards. This is one where I genuinely do think, hey, you know, all these other people that are on this list here have been nominated and have won awards in the past. This is a just, you know, first time soundtrack for a video game and it's that high quality. Like, I'm just sitting there and I'm going, bro, if you don't have a permanent position at Sandfall, trust me, you're going to have a lot of work coming your way. Like, my God,
Yeah, definitely.
don't you worry about that. Incredible. Um, Mine both would be Clair Obscur, I think. I do love Darren Korb, though. I do love Hades 2 soundtrack.
Oh,
It's
it's so
fantastic.
good. Oh man, when I got my physical version of the game
Mhm.
last week, it came with the little download code for the soundtrack, and that has
Awesome.
been what I have been waiting for. I have been listening to a lot of Hades 2 music in the car.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Did you say what you were voting for? Will
Um,
Expedition want?
Expedition is going to win. Hades 2 is the want.
There you go, then. Next up, Best Art Direction. Another challenging category, obviously, for outstanding creative or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Again, it's the same guys, dude. It's literally the exact same guys. Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. Hard, tough, very tough. The- Here's the thing. I think they're all very pretty games for different reasons. I don't think Ghost of Yotei nor Death Stranding 2 will win these categories. That's my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
definitely not.
Um, Here's the problem that I have here is, again, it's hard because Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong are
Yeah,
singing
they
from the
both
same hymn
look
sheet.
really good.
They both look really good, but they're also singing from the same hymn sheet. Where it's like, you know, it's leveling up the original design. Expedition 33 is brand new and it's unique, but also it takes so much inspiration from a lot of other media. Where it
Sure.
is, you know, it's not wholeheartedly unique, but I don't know. This could literally be, you could just throw a dart at the board and go, okay, that's what everyone's voted for. Um, Gosh, it's very tough. How are you feeling, Hunter? Walk me through.
I think Expedition 33 is going to win, if for
Okay.
no other reason than the Game Awards bias tends to be realistic to some capacity with a bit of visual flair.
I agree.
Uh, Ghost of Tsushima won that way, Control won the year before.
Hmm.
There have been things in the middle. I think Deathloop won the one time, which come on, you know. Uh,
Hey, the
so I think
trailers look
that'll
good.
be it mostly because Expedition 33 is wholly unique in this regard, whereas Ghost of Yotei, much like the others in this category, looks the same as the previous ones, but a little better.
Yeah, I agree. I think Expedition 33 will win. Out of all of these, I would like Hades to win, actually, though. That's my guess. Might be my
Yeah.
vote. I just think Hades 2 looks phenomenal.
It does,
The
man.
shift to
Like
3D really does do wonders for that game. Even though you
the new
can't
designs for all the characters
tell.
too, like they're all
Yeah.
really good.
So that's my vote, is Hades DOS. We're into their big hitters, ladies and gentlemen, if you couldn't tell. Best narrative. This is for the game that just has that good old story that hits. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of Yotei. Hang on, guys. Two new hitters to the table. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Silent Hill F. I'm going all in on Expedition 33 with this category. I don't even think it'll be close, if I'm
Yeah, I think it's
honest.
yeah, I think Expedition 33 is the easy winner here because if the thing it's known for most, I would say, is the story.
And the
Um,
funny thing is here's the thing, right? Is it's better than Death Stranding 2. It's better than Ghost of Yotei. I can't speak for the other two. But the thing is I have my problems with it. It's not a slam dunk of a narrative. There is a part about 60% of the way through where for about 3 or 4 hours, it did lose me. Like, there was a part of that game where it just didn't work for me that well. And it managed to, I was free falling. It managed to scoop me up and, keep me going at the end.
yeah,
But, so I don't think in any other year, you might be having a bit more of a conversation here. But,
yeah, but Silent Hill F's story is really good. I think it also probably falls victim to the esoteric horror story thing
yeah,
where
yeah.
you're locked to one ending on the first playthrough, and if you want to see more of them, you have to play it again, which I
Ooh,
suspect that most people probably didn't do. I think the first ending they give you is pretty good, to be fair, but that's probably just something that people will be like, "Blue, I didn't like that."
yeah. But no. I think that this is, Kingdom Come, don't know about too much about the narrative of it. People seem to like it though. But yeah, I think it'll be Expedition. I think it's just great story, uh, great performances that kind of push that narrative forward. And then you've just got that ending as a discussion point, a final choice, and a final discussion point of what did you choose? How do you feel about it? What's your overall opinion? It keeps the conversation going. It keeps it in the zeitgeist for a lot longer. Um,
Yeah, just because everyone thinks that they're right.
I am right.
Yeah,
Always have been. We picked the same ending, I believe. I think we're both right.
we did. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah. It's the correct one. It still is.
yeah, I know. I agree.
I think my favorite part about that is someone was like, they asked they asked Ben Starr and Jennifer English which ending do you prefer, and Jennifer said Mael, and Ben also said Mael. He said, but not for the reasons that you think. Ben said that Mael was his favorite because that scene, that performance is like that
Oh
might be
yeah,
some of the best bit of acting that I've ever done. I'm not even talking about what the story implications are. It's just like that bit of acting. I'm like, fair play, fair play.
that's fair.
Respect the craft. Anyway, best game direction. Here we go. We're nearly there, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly there. Best game direction is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. I'm happy Split Fiction got a nom here. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well deserved.
Um, it's interesting, right? I look at these games and I'm like, it's kind of tough. I think in my head, people just seem game direction and they go, Hideo Kojima, give him a nom. Um, fair
Of
enough.
all the categories, I think Death Stranding might win. It could be this one.
But yeah, I agree with you, but also I don't think it should. Like, that's the thing where it's like, in my head, game direction can, outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, And I sit there and I go, Death Stranding 2 is Death Stranding 1, but better. Ghost of Yotei is Ghost of Tsushima. but better. Hades 2 is Hades 1, but better. It's like, again, it's singing from the same hymn sheet. Yes, it's good game direction, but it's like the innovativeness of it. I'm sitting there and I'm going, it's hard
See,
to talk about innovation when you're talking about a bunch of sequels. And Split Fiction at the same time is an innovation of, okay, if we're doing It Takes Two, but it's about two writers instead of a divorced couple. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's very
I would
hard.
struggle to say that Expedition 33 really innovates on much either. To be fair,
No, it's
got
Persona with
it's a
Sekiro parrying, dude. Like that's what it
yeah,
is.
it's got the Mario RPG combat system.
But at the same time, it's blending all of that together. Whereas, it's like the others are known quantities, which is harder. It's like, did Kojima do a great job with Death Stranding 2? Of course he did. Did Brian from Sucker Punch do a great job of Ghost Yota? Yeah, it did. Did Greg from Hades, from Supergiant do a great job? Yeah. Did Joseph do a good job? Yeah. They all did a great job, but it's very hard to guess what this goes down to, because I feel like does it just go down to who's the bigger name, so Kojima wins, or does it go to what's the darling game of the moment, which is Expedition 33. The hard part is, Hunter, is usually best game direction is the second place award. That's why we're having trouble this year, is because usually it's, oh, God of War is going to win Game of the Year this year, or Red Dead Redemption. It'll be the other one that wins this one, right? It's usually the second place trophy of, oh, you weren't Game of the Year, but here's best game direction. So, I don't know. What are you thinking? If you can hear me. Okay. Maybe you can't hear me. Hunter, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear
What are you
you
thinking?
now.
What are you thinking?
I think Expedition 33 probably is gonna win it, despite what
Yeah.
I was saying before my ears got turned off. Um,
I just went on a rant. Don't
yeah,
worry. You missed nothing but me ranting about what is innovation. And let's be real here. Everyone did a great. I basically went on. Usually, Hunter, it's the second place award. This is who isn't winning Game of the Year. This is your trophy. And this year it's harder because there's no real. You know what I mean? Where it's like everyone's. We'll get to Game of the Year in a minute. Everyone's like, it's a lock for Expedition. No one's thinking of who's in second. No one's been having that
yeah,
conversation. So it's harder.
yeah, but yeah, I think what I was about to say before I was sent to the ether there was that usually the word innovation counts for very little in this category anyway.
True.
People just kind of pick whatever they feel like. Jeff doesn't do a good job at reinforcing the descriptions of these categories.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a hard one, right? Because you don't want this to be an auteur award. You don't want this to just be Kojima gets a trophy because people know Kojima.
Yeah,
But when you're looking at best game direction, it does feel like it should be saying Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding 2 on the breach. Brian, I can't remember what his last name is, but from Sucker Punch for Ghost of Yotei.
yeah, it's a hard
Joseph
one
Fares for
because
Split Fiction. It's hard because you don't want to get people in that mindset, but also that's kind of what game direction is. There is a director on a
yeah,
video game. Like
yeah,
that
or
is
at the
what it
very
is.
least, like everything about no one makes games like the people who are nominated, which I would say is true of each of these except for Yote. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but like if we wanted to talk like yeah, another reason innovation counts for very little in this category, Blueprints is missing here.
Legitimately, not only should Blueprints be here, it would win if it
It
was
should
here.
win.
It would be
Yeah.
the winner. It annoys me. Out of these games, when I'm voting for best game direction, it's very. It's.
Oh,
I think Expedition 33 will win. That's what I
yeah.
am thinking. Out of all of these, I would like Split Fiction to win, if I'm honest with you, just because I'm thinking gamey here, and I think that they managed to do that perfect thing where they did make every level and just get a hook for it, and it worked. And it's just that final hour as well, where I'm just sitting there and I'm going,
Yeah.
everything kind of clicks, and it does in all those other games as well. But you know, Kojima had already got the hooks in with Death Stranding 1. Ghost of Tsushima got its hooks in with that kind of loop. Hades is the same, where it's
I
like
would
it's
argue
this.
that this might be the one thing that Yote succeeded less at than Tsushima did, even because I saw the matrix of it way sooner.
Yeah, I agree. But there you go. Anyway, what did you want? What do you want to win, Hunter? What do you want to win?
Oh, my knee-jerk reaction is Hades.
There you go. It always is. It always is, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Anyway, the big boy, the game, the Gotti Award, which is recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience of all creative and technical fields. It's the big popularity contest, guys, and you're all invited to Claire Obscure Expedition 33's win. Alongside it, Death Stranding 2,
Agreed.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Donkey Kong Bonanza being on this one is so silly.
Dude, like, honestly, this is the
Especially
Nintendo
after you
tax. This
spend the
is the
last
Nintendo.
hour and a half going through the rest of the nominations. It wasn't
And
even
it's
on
been
Best
there.
Action Adventure.
Yeah,
You couldn't even knock off Indiana Jones from last year.
dude, this is Nintendo tax. This is Nintendo tax. I don't care what people are saying because everyone's sitting there going, Donkey Kong Bonanza deserves to be here. And I'm like, if it deserved to be here, it would be in more categories, mate.
Yeah, like, sure. Like, don't approach this award show with, where's the random obscure, where's Trails in the Sky first chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
Great game, blah 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 blah. But within the construct of its own like rules, either Split Fiction or Ghost of Yotei should be taking Donkey Kong's place.
And I don't like that either. But I like, I I sit here with Donkey Kong and I just it's even soundtrack. It's got an incredible soundtrack, but it didn't even couldn't even crack into that either. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like
Yeah.
this feels like Nintendo has to be here because it's Switch 2 launch year and they have to have a big game there. Like, you know what I mean? People think, oh, what about Nintendo? Where I'm just sitting there and I'm going, bro, if that game was called Crash Bandicoot Bamboozle and it was just Crash punching through the fucking terrain all the time, it would have got like 10 points lower and everyone would have gone, man, that middle part's boring. And I sit there going,
Yeah.
the same with Donkey Kong, where I'm
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
gosh, that middle part's boring, but we just can't help but give Nintendo a good flipping like arm nudge and go, hey, but you've still got it, haven't you? It's a great game, but also Mario Odyssey wipes the floor with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think this is a fight between nobody. I think Expedition 33 wins. I would like Expedition 33 wins. I think it's like it is the winner. Like, I don't feel like I genuinely like it'll be the biggest shock of the Game Awards in history if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right?
I would yeah, it's one of those ones where it'd be up there with it's one of those things where it also depends on how the rest of the show is going beforehand because part of that setup, like when Red Dead was winning every category it was in that
Mhm.
year, and then God of War just won the game of the year in spite of all of that.
But that's what
Um,
yeah, that's what I'm saying
that
though,
was really
Hunter.
surprising.
It
If
was.
Expedition 33 suddenly isn't winning some of these awards that we thought were like slam dunks, it might be a case of, oh, maybe it won't win game of the year. But
Maybe, but also it's like what I was saying earlier. What's the second place? It's like with God of War and Red Dead, everyone was like, Red Dead's gonna win. Red Dead's gonna win, obviously. But God of War's second, and it's a close contest. Whereas it's like here, you go, what? What is second? Because yes, Silksong is beloved. People really liked Silksong for sure. That could very easily be second. But you can also say the same for Hades 2, because it scored higher. Like Hades 2 could very much be the
80
second place game.
highest scoring game of the year,
Yeah. So
It's one of those
Hades
things
2
like
could very much be second place. But what I'm saying is, Hunter, is, I feel like there were a lot of people on the Game of the Year vote that were like, oh, Red Dead's going to win, so I'm just going to give it to God of War because I like God of War more. And I think enough people did that to split it. Whereas here, there isn't a clear second place.
yeah, I
People
know
who
what you
go,
mean.
Expedition 33 is going to win. I'm going to vote for Hades. Some will do that. Some will do Hollow Knight. Some will do Kingdom Come. It's even that's the problem when you have so many strong games. Is I feel like for Expedition 33 to not win this category means everybody just goes, oh, well, it's going to win. So we all are going to put our votes evenly across everything else. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
That would be funny.
There's nothing to kind of, counter it. There's nothing to go, oh, it's definitely, if it's not Expedition, it's definitely Silksong. It's definitely
Yeah.
Hades too. It's hard, you know?
It is funny how the story seemed to be written, you know, just a month or so after Expedition 33 came out. And I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like Hollow Knight and Hades coming out made the conversation more interesting for a little bit, but we've all just kind of went around our elbow to get to our wrist here.
100%. I think what's the most interesting is if you took Expedition 33 out and you then sit there and you have those 5, what wins? That's an
Oh,
interesting
I think
conversation.
yeah, yeah,
Because
that
then
would
it
really
is
be
like that's
between
like the Battle of the Indies then, isn't it?
yeah.
Then it is. Even though sorry, Expedition 33 is an indie, but you know what I mean? The
Yeah, it'd be
Battle of the
between Hades and Hollow
yeah.
Knight, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
And hey, I'd even say in that scenario, you know, not to knock Death Stranding or Donkey Kong, but that is when you could have a really hardcore audience that really love Kingdom Come. That's when that could properly, power it. Like that's
yeah.
when you've got an indie split like that, that's when you could powerhouse a Warhorse win. But it's an interesting one. I don't think we're gonna I don't think we're gonna be sitting here in 2 weeks' time and going, what the flip happened, mate? Like, but I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's an
Sometimes
interesting one to think about.
the obvious winner is going to be obvious, Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate,
Mhm.
and so on.
Sometimes it's one of those years, and I think this year is one of
Yeah.
those years. Um, but what a year, when you sit there and you're moaning there because you're moaning that Donkey Kong's like an 8 and not a 9. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like some years, let's just put it this way, ladies and gentlemen. 2019 would kill for a Donkey Kong Bonanza. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some years, some years you just kind of live it a
Who
bit
needs a
low.
Donkey Kong Bonanza when you have AI the Somnium Files?
Normal people, Hunter. Normal people need a Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Uh,
Uh, I guess the
nearly
final
choked
though.
on my drink saying that.
I guess the final thing to ask Hunter is how many war crimes? If you're new to the show,
Oh.
we like to ask the question of how many war crimes will Jeff Keighley commit during the Game Awards. This is, you know, it's kind of, it's when an ad plays 6 million times, when he cuts to 5 mobile games back to back to back to back to back, when he
He brings
invites a
on an internet
random.
celebrity that is just the worst.
Yeah. We like to call those war crimes here. I don't know if that gets us demonetized. Oh gosh, hello. You did not see that, ladies and gentlemen. What did I just do? Oh dear, Hunter. It's one of those nights, mate. It's one of those nights. I think it. Oh yeah, it was all fine. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Oh, I just did that as well. I'm pressing all the buttons. Pressing all the wrong buttons. How many do you think?
Um, I'm gonna go with 8.
How many was last year? Just so we know. What was the record? What did we come
I
to a
don't
conclusion? What
know
did the
the
board
exact number.
on the
I
tab? On the
said
other tab, does it
7
say?
and I won.
Does it say on the tab?
Oh,
No.
I won with 7 and someone else predicted 8. So I guess it
Oh,
was 7.
oh, wow. Okay, so 7. And you're going for what this year?
8. I think that he will one up himself by
I think I'm
a
gonna go for
singular war
9.
crime.
I'm gonna go for 9. I think that last year he was trying really hard because it was the 10th anniversary. I think this year he lets it slip. Um,
Yeah,
I think
that's
there's no
fair.
way in heck it goes lower.
Oh, I think 7 last year is probably the floor.
True, true. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, this episode is very long, but we can make it a little bit longer by rounding it off with some Game Awards 2025 reveals. These are usually a bit of fun, okay? We are not Jeff Grubb, we do not have insider information, but we're just going to say some random things that we think may happen. Hunter, have you got anything that you think must happen at the Game Awards this year?
You know, and I wouldn't really it seems like a generic prediction most years,
Okay.
but this time there's actual like saying that Valve was going to show up with something, you know, that's just people drinking the Half-Life 3 juice forever. But it actually seems like that might I don't think it'll be Half-Life 3. I think it'll be I
Isn't it
don't
rumored to be
know.
called like Half-Life X or something like that? It's like
Yeah, I think it'll be
it's
Half-Life Nebulous spin-off something,
I
not
don't think it'll be
Half-Life
Nebula's
3.
spin-off. I just think it won't be called Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Um, I agree.
Because they
I've got
want to
yeah.
they want to sell their little
Steam
Steam
machines.
Cube.
Yeah. Uh, that's my legit. That was my second prediction. Is I think you're right, Hunter. I think it's finally time for the Valve truthers to have their copium.
Make it Portal
Half
3, you cowards.
Half-Life 3 RX is announced, and I'm going bold with this one, Hunter. I think it's out in spring. I think they're just
Oh,
gonna dump it. You know what I mean? Like they did this with Half-Life Alyx, where they just kind of announced it, and then they were like, and it's out in like 3 months' time with a VR headset. I
did they
think that
say when the
they said like
Steam?
first half of 2026, I believe. So I'm just gonna go shoot my
I
shot.
think it would make sense to launch with it if they were going to.
Mhm.
It'll probably go on other. I wouldn't be shocked if it went other places at some point, but you
True.
know,
Um, I hope it
they're
does
like,
happen because then I can start going, see, you can make sequels. Where's
now give us
Portal
Portal.
3? Yeah, like
Yeah,
there you go. Then we can start marching to the marching to Valve headquarters and demanding what we deserve. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, that's one. One I have here, also huffing the copium, but I do think with recent leaks, Hunter, I think it is going to happen. I've got here Crash Team Racing 2 or Spyro 4. I think it's going to be Crash Team Racing because of that leak.
yeah.
Activision always likes to be here with Crash or Spyro if they have something planned. That Beanox thing, that leak, that new artwork, I don't think that happens for, like, that wasn't
It doesn't. Where
CTR
there's smoke,
artwork.
there's fire.
That wasn't Nitro Fueled artwork because that was, Toys for Bob's design. It was even slightly different to Toys for Bob's design. So it was a different design for Crash in a cart. I think it will be. I know I know last year I was like, it'll be next year, Spyro 4. And I do think Spyro 4 will be announced next year. But I think that, that Crash Team Racing artwork to me suggests that that one probably started development before Toys for Bob started Spyro 4. So, yeah, I think you've got a high likelihood for one of them being there, and my gut is Crash Team Racing. Um, I think, just done by that's Best Sportsman Racing. Congratulations to Mario Kart. Hey, speaking of racing, check this out. And then it's Crash Team
Yeah,
Racing 2, and Ethan
and
rips
then
his
crash.
shirt off in
Yeah,
celebration. Uh,
yeah. Because mascot Crash harassing him right at the end of that category would be great.
Whoop-de-doo, plumber boy. Well, guess who's back? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
But I think that that's fair enough. I've got another one here, which I think is rather likely, with a bit of a copium, but I think it's also likely at the end. Expedition 33 is obviously going to be a big part of this show.
Yeah,
I think Ben Starr let off that he had done some more Verso in the past couple of months. So I think there's going to be some sort of farewell DLC where they add a bunch of extra bosses and stuff. It's going to be a free update. That's what my assumption is. They said that they were going to
yeah.
do this as a thank you. I think it gets announced. I think it'll have a date. You know, why not revel in it? My little extra bit, they announced that it's coming to Switch 2. They don't say when, but they announced that they're working on a Switch 2
Who
port.
could know?
Yeah, but that's what I think. I think you'll get something Expedition here. I think you have to. I feel like they're just going to revel in it a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Well, have you got anything
Um,
else? I've got quite a few.
so I think that we'll see one of two of one of two of these here with
Yep,
Sega and their successful push towards reviving their series with
successful.
Shinobi here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was a good game, if nothing else.
Oh, I'm just saying
I think it'll either be.
for every
I
Sega
think
win, there's
it'll.
a Sega fail, mate.
Yeah, but that's what Sonic is for.
True. See you next year, Sonic fans. That'll be announced. There you go.
Anyway, it's either gonna be Crazy Taxi or Jet Set Radio. I think we'll have a thing to show for one of those.
See, that's interesting. I also think there'll be something Sega here. I think that's not a bad shout. Um, I did say one of those, but I had four, so those were two of them. I also think Sega will show something. I think you might have a potential for Persona 4 Revival. Might get another trailer just because that's in the ethos. They might just want to confirm if it's 2026 or
Yeah.
not. I think the fourth
Yeah.
one is
Stranger Than Heaven.
no, because I don't think that game's
No.
coming out next year. I think God, I had it on my head and then you've taken it away. No, new Sonic game. They announced
Oh,
Sonic Frontiers at Game Awards before. I think that if they're doing they like to announce. They announced Sonic Racing Cross Worlds at the Game Awards, I believe. So it's like
Oh yeah,
they
they
like
did,
to
didn't
announce
they?
this crap early. So, there will be something Sega there, but, are you on the naughty or nice list, Hunter? You'll find out. I've got something here which is I don't think Sony will show personally. They don't usually show at these awards. The only reason they showed last year, I think, was because it was the 10th anniversary, and Jeff probably went up to them and was like, "Please give me Naughty Dog game. It's 10th anniversary. Please, please, please." I think that's what he did. Actually, I think he first went to Valve and he was like, "Please give me Half-Life 3, please." And they were like, "See you next year." And then he went
Yeah,
to Naughty Dog. Um, but if they do, I think they'll show two things. They'll show either one of two things. I think if you're dreaming, they show Corey Barlog's game. I still think you don't get that. But I think the more realistic thing is you get a Saros story trailer.
yeah. I wouldn't be shocked to see Saros again. Returnal got way more trailers than I thought you would think
Mm-hmm.
looking back on it, but
100%.
yeah, and they definitely got the one at the Game Awards that like baited me into thinking it was PT. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Saros here.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I've got more, Hunter, if you want me to keep rattling. Have you got some more?
I I think Capcom shows up with a date for Onimusha since they've been showing that game all year, and this completes the circle. And I don't know, middle of spring somewhere. They don't have to play, dodge with Grand Theft Auto anymore. So like
True.
the early May, let's say.
Dude, I also have got Capcom here. I think it's time, dude.
Yeah,
I think
another Resident Evil Requiem trailer.
I think it is. I think it's time. I think Game Awards is when you finally admit that Leon Kennedy is in Resident Evil 9. I think this is where you actually do it. They've got that direct in January. I feel
Oh,
like
I forgot about
you
that.
don't announce
Stop
something like
showing
that at
so
a
much of
Resident.
this game.
Yeah, I feel like
Dude,
in
they've
for a
showed as
penny,
much
in
of
for a
this
pound, mate.
as they have Onimusha in half the time.
But the funny thing about it is they've hardly shown any of the game really, which is kind of crazy. They just keep showing the same level, the first level of the game in the hospital. So, yeah, I think it's time. I think you do get a Resident Evil 9 trailer. I think they finally show that Leon Kennedy is in the game because, for God's sake, we know he's in the game. If he isn't, this is the biggest like misleak of all time. Like, my goodness.
Yeah, this is the
Um,
thing. It's like if he is in the game, I think they should get ahead of it before the. Honestly, although at this point, I think maybe it could come back so far around that it's like a double swerve when he
yeah,
shows up.
but yeah. So I do think that you get the trailer and then they'll be like, please tune in to Resident Evil Direct where we'll show you Leon gameplay. And then they can find. We know he's there. Hunter, we know he's there. There were PlayStation Store leaks where they said outfit for Leon. We know he's in the game. Just stop hiding it at this point, Capcom. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'd understand if you were trying to I'd understand if you were trying to do like a Last of Us Part 2 bait and switch here. But the thing is it's like you're not showing enough of you've shown one level of Grace's like entire journey here. If you would show more of the game, we'd believe you more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every trailer is like the first hour of the video game. Like just show us a little bit more of it. You can't just keep showing derelict Raccoon City and that one hospital level for the rest of the game. My god. Right. Anyway,
Joke's on you. They've been doing that for most of the series.
I know. Rant over. Uh I think Xbox will probably show something. They tend to do at one of these. I think you've got either one of two things, and I think they are both from Playground. I think you will either get a release date for Forza Horizon 6. That's apparently in the first half, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get a release day. The other one, Fable finally gets a trailer. It's been so long. I feel like Game Awards is the kind of place where you remind people that Fable is still coming, apparently. Um, it's out in
Especially
20,
since
yeah, 2026.
especially since its release year has been this year for the past 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think you get anything Halo or anything Gears. Maybe a Gears E-Day trailer, but I feel like Gears is second half, whereas I feel like Fable and Forza are first half. So that's where I'm going with
Yeah,
that.
that would make more sense. And like, um, I feel like you don't want to show that much of Halo at the risk of showing all of it, since it's only the campaign of the first game.
Bro, I can already
It's like
leak it right now. Let me just boot it up on
3 hours
Game Pass
long.
real quick,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Um, you got anything else?
Um, Phantom Blade Zero is a game that
Yeah,
I think will show up here. Probably tell you when it's coming out, if it is at all coming out next year. Anyway,
totally.
I wouldn't be shocked if for some reason they were like 2027. I
That wouldn't
hope not.
surprise me.
I'd love to see it slated for next year.
I've got another epic prediction from my hand. Okay. Nintendo does nothing. They never do anything at these shows. Please stop asking Nintendo to reveal stuff at Game Awards. It never happens. Um, they never do. I don't know why people keep pretending that Nintendo reveals stuff at these
If-
shows. They never do. They have an ad in the middle
yeah,
where it's like Nintendo Switch has games, and then it shows you the 3 games that came out. And please buy.
unless you've got a Smash Brothers fighter pass to shill, then
There's no
they
point.
really don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But here you go. Here's one for the Nintendo fans, and I hope it happens because I just want to see them cry. This would make it even funnier. Please either do a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Three Houses, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, or please let me play Xenoblade Chronicles X because I do not want to play it in 2 FPS. That would be great. Thank you very much. Just do one of those 3. You'll get everybody. That'd be fantastic. Brilliant. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um,
Uh, Keeping with Nintendo in a vague sense, I think
mhm.
you'll see a trailer for the Dusk Bloods
The Dusk
because
Bloods.
FromSoft likes to play ball at these things, and it kind of kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah. All of my, I've got one that isn't like this will just happen, I think. You ready for this one? This is just like a boring one. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is finally shown, releases in January. We've heard that this is leaking and is releasing. I think you just get the trailer here and then you get the date. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
Um
it's absolutely bananas marketing cycle if it turns out to be
what
true.
delayed, release a week later. Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah, it's
right.
stupid. Like, I don't know, maybe you should have proved the game existed back in the summer,
Apparently Black Flag is also coming out relatively quickly, so who knows? We'll see.
which is
Um
also bananas. Like,
I don't know about that one personally. I don't think Assassin's Creed will be announced at the Game Awards. I think that's more likely Prince of Persia. But when do you announce it? Just announce like if it's not
yeah,
being
it's like
announced at the Game
Ubisoft doesn't
Awards,
do things anymore.
I don't know. God knows.
Maybe
Um,
PlayStation usually has a state of play near the beginning of the year. They could do
True, but then that's like usually like
that.
February. So then it's like, are you really gonna wait till February to announce something coming in March? Like, what are you doing?
They're waiting till December to announce something coming in January.
Yeah, but Prince of Persia was never going to do well. I'm sorry, Prince of Persia fans, but you need to hear the truth
Yeah.
sometimes. Black Flag will do well if it's not garbage, but you know that's about a 30% chance. Um, my other one's Hunter. He usually has a big starter game and a big end game, right? And then the middle is just filled with your Crash Team Racings and your hopeful. Please give me something that you know. It usually has 2 big ones, right? He usually has 2 big ones.
Yeah.
Uh, I've got 4 here.
All right.
They're all increasing levels of copium. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest and the most boring is Judas gets another trailer because he has done Judas before, and I feel like Ken Levine keeps talking about how he's very much working on it. I feel like that's the kind
It
of
still
game
feels
where
like
you
such a
sit.
nebulous thing too, where
It's
it's like that
it's
game could come
yeah.
out next year. It could come out
I
in
think it's gonna
2030.
yeah. I've got Judas trailer with a 2027 release because that's the kind of game that does show gameplay and then says 2027. You know what I mean? That is the kind of game
Yeah,
that does
yeah.
that.
Or
Um,
shows gameplay with no window.
that is the most that's the most boring but safest bet, right, of these 4.
Yeah.
The next one, again, they've played ball at the Game Awards before. Control 2 announced.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
We know they're working on it. A lot of people are sitting there going, "What if they show the Max Payne remakes?" Rockstar does not play ball with the Game Awards. That's not going to happen. If Remedy's going to do something, it'll be their own project, and especially as
Well, I don't think
Firebreak,
Rockstar
whatever.
cares as much if it's Remedy's stuff. Like
Yeah, but they're publishing
Rockstar,
it, so it's all
obviously.
that's all
Well,
their
yeah,
job,
but
isn't it?
I still
So
don't think they care as much, is what I'm saying. Like Rockstar, supersedes Game Awards by having Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Max Payne does not have that kind of a hold.
yeah, I agree, but I don't think that they would do it. Rockstar never announces anything anybody else's thing. They're on their own terms every single time. So I think you'll find out about Max Payne on a random Tuesday when Rockstar decides today's Max Payne day. I don't think they play well. But I think Control, FBC didn't do too hot. They've admitted that,
Yeah.
it's not doing well. I feel like they want to get some momentum going again. I feel like that's a potential one. Another one. And again, IP that has played well before with Game Awards. New Tomb Raider. That's been in the works for 4 years with Amazon.
Yeah.
It's been in the works forever. We've seen the design of Lara Croft. We know that it's set after the remake trilogy. We know a load of stuff. So it's like, that to me seems like the kind of thing where Jeff Keighley would be like, I'm honored to show you a new look at the return of a beloved franchise. And then you sit there and
You
you
know what
go,
the funny? I don't want to be a hater or anything too, but this is also one of those ones where I'd be like, really, you did that
that's your
build
one
up
more
for Tomb
thing.
Raider?
That's what I mean. That's your one more thing. That's your one more
I don't
thing.
want to
That's
be a
what
hater because I liked the first one of those fine, and I like the
Dude, Tomb
classic
Raider
ones, all right. But
2013 I love Tomb Raider 2013. Great little game. The other two,
it's got so much stuff that annoys me these days, but I was willing to overlook it back in the day.
are diminishing returns, you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with
Yeah,
those games is but I do really love uh the actor that played modern
is
Lara
she coming
Croft.
back for this one?
I
Have they
hope
said anything
so.
about
I
that?
don't think they've said anything, but I hope so because I think she was
Yeah.
fantastic. Um she managed to find that perfect balance between being an iconic character, but also bringing her a bit more down to earth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
um, and I think there's a middle
Well,
ground there. I
you
think she could
kind of
very
have to when the
easily, yeah.
story throws her into the earth at every turn.
And but I think there's a middle ground there. Who knows? We'll find out, I guess, when it's announced at the Game Awards 2025. I've got you. You ready for the real cope, Hunter? Here's the real cope. You ready for this one? This is Ethan's hopes and dreams. I was sitting there going, there's no chance we're never seeing Kingdom Hearts 4. That's never a real game. Um, Final Fantasy 7 Part
But
3 gets a teaser trailer. 2027, and they'll say that they will talk more about it at Summer Game Fest 2026 because Square loves working with Jeff. Rebirth was a part of Jeff's grand old strategy. And I feel like we all have this hope that it's going to be out in January 2027. That's our hope. We want it to be out for the 30th anniversary, right? That is the dream right there. And I feel
yeah,
like they kind of want to get the ball rolling, Announce it. January, it's out on Switch 2 and Xbox. They can announce that Rebirth is coming in like the summer or the autumn, and then, just get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? I feel like they could do. I feel like between Kingdom Hearts and this, I feel like this is something that could happen, whereas Kingdom Hearts 4 is something that will never happen and we'll never see it.
it's
That's
very true.
they've done it before. They've teased at Keighley's projects. I feel like my other theory is, Rebirth and Remake were both announced at Sony things.
Yeah.
I think that they are almost trying to do a bit of a Capcom. Like Capcom, Resident Evil 7, 8, and 4 were all announced at Sony things. And then now they're trying to broaden the market, broaden the demographic. A lot of Resident Evil stuff is actually coming on Nintendo Directs and all these random other presentations. Summer Game Fest. And I think Square Enix is going to try and do the same thing. I feel like this is the place to announce it if you want to announce it before Game Fest. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to get Part 3 in a state of play. I just don't. Because, frankly,
Yeah, and it's
I
not
don't...
like
yeah.
they haven't done one of those because Square Enix did their own show to show us Rebirth the first time, and they haven't done anything like that since then.
Yeah.
Because they had the thing, because that's when True Colors got announced too, and the
Yeah.
Crisis Core's remaster. But they haven't done anything like that since then, so I don't know if they'd make a big old brouhaha about it.
Unless they've got
For
Kingdom
Final
Hearts 4
Fantasy.
also coming. Like, that's when,
Yeah.
like, if they had both of them, then maybe that's when they would talk about it. But also, I don't think you reveal two big things like that at the same time again, I feel like get one out earlier.
Ethan, you're missing the missing piece of this puzzle is the sequel to Double Exposure is what they've
No,
got
no,
up the sleeve.
no. This is not a Persona reference. I will end it. So true. But no, like I genuinely, because I jokingly put this. This was like one of those things where, I'm sitting there laughing to myself when I'm sitting there going, "Oh, Hunter's gonna hate the idea of a Tomb Raider announcement because that seems very feasible and very disappointing." But I was writing it. I was like, Final Fantasy
Hate
VII
isn't
remake.
even the right word. It's just one of those, like, the air is let out of me in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I get it, I get it.
Uh,
But yeah, I was just sitting there. I was going, "Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII remake part 3." Or obviously Ethan's copium continues. But then I was sitting there and I was thinking about timelines, and I'm like, no, Rebirth was announced over a year before. Like, it's like it works out where it's like, yeah, you kind of do want to announce this that it's coming especially if it's January next year. You don't want to leave that till too long. So I'm like,
yeah.
I can see it. You want to build that hype. You want that part. I think they want part 3 to be huge. I think it'll be on PC and PS5 on the exact same day, and I think that they want Switch fans and Xbox fans to kind of get in. Get in the bus. We're going.
Oh, well, with
Um,
being on PC the same day, what's the difference to Xbox fans?
True, dude. True. This is an
Whereas
Xbox.
Nintendo gets its own little cycle uh, for the series now that it's capable of running the first game.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to see Switch 2 try and handle Rebirth. That is going to be a
Did
dream.
Crisis Core ever go to the Switch?
It did.
Oh, okay, I couldn't remember if I made that up or
No, it
because
was
it's
day
one of
and
those
date.
things where it's like it could because it's a PSP game, but also
It was
who
day and
knows?
date on PS4,
Yeah,
PS5, Xbox, Switch, and PC. That one was day and date everywhere.
yeah. I,
Um,
I couldn't recall.
but yeah, I think I feel like it's not a bad shot. I'm interested to see. Remake apparently runs great on Switch 2. So from
Well,
what
that's
people are
good.
saying. But also, as we all know, Remake and Rebirth are two completely different beasts. Um, Rebirth didn't run well on PS5 when we first started playing it. That game was.
Yeah, it was.
I love that game. I adore that game. It's a brilliant video game. But also, my goodness, it's the only game where my little if you have listened to the podcast before, you know that I'm very sensitive to like frame rate, and usually it's like 60 FPS all day every day. I'm just I'm a little 60 FPS goblin. It was the only game I've ever played where I had to turn it to 30 FPS. I was like, bro, this is too blurry. It's like someone smudged Vaseline all over my screen. I can't do this. And then I turned it to 30, and I remember Hunter, you and Kyle were both playing it on 30, and you were both like, "Oh yeah, it's fine." I'm like, this is like, it was like one of those few examples where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just being privileged here. I'm just trying to have my cake and eat it. I just need to suck it up and play it on 30 FPS, and I had a much better time.
Yeah.
um, God help you, Switch 2 fans. Godspeed, dude. Godspeed. I think it'll take off in the middle of a Gungok. But hey ho, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 whole hours of Game Awards discussion just for you. We hope you enjoyed. Next week, obviously, Game Awards, you got 2 weeks to watch this episode, so hey, you've had plenty of time. Next week, Metroid Prime. Can you believe it, Hunter? Metroid Prime 4 is an actual video game that we will have played by this time next week. Can you believe it?
Yeah. It's insane. 2025 is a year of like weird landmark. Hollow Knight and Metroid both come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff that's been happening throughout the year.
It's crazy, but it'll be here, and we'll have first impressions on a bunch of other stuff too next week. It's like our big final first impressions, because I know Skate Story is also on PS Plus as well.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a round of that. I think that would be the. I think that would.
Is that December 8th? Is that the next week? Oh god damn it, Sony! That might be the next week. Anyway.
No. No.
Yeah, it will.
I don't
be.
know.
It'll be December 8th. Anyway, we've got a load of games. We'll figure it out. We'll give you our first impressions. If Skate Story is the week after, we'll crack in a little bit before after Game Awards impressions, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Regardless, it'll be Metroid and like a metric ton of things I've played this week.
Sounds like a plan. Anyway, I'll link to the screen right now. You can go and follow us on socials if you want to keep up to date with what we do outside of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because my throat is dying. Turns out 2.5 hours of talking about Jeff Keighley is far too much. But, you know, it's been fun.
But yeah,
Only once a year. You gotta make the most of it. Anyway,
twice a year.
3 times if you want to be that pedantic, but, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't. We don't do that though.
I could
Usually
make it
we don't
happen.
talk about Gamescom until after it happens, and we both kind of say, "Who cares?" in the first 2 minutes of the show.
They don't call it opening shite live for nothing. But hey ho. Anyway, whatever games are out next week, we'll be playing them. We'll be telling you all about them next week. But hey, we'll see you then, I guess. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Doodaloo.